Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fake Nerd Podcast. Definitely wasn't about to say that.
What?
Fake Nerd Podcast. We're off to a good start this week. A little early this week for us on a Sunday. It's not
very nice.
nighttime.
The sun is still outside.
I have energy.
We've done this once before where we did it early in the morning.
Yeah, I think we should do it more often. It's so nice.
Well, we did say when we were going to, Ben Magnet,
Yes, hello.
Ryan Iliopolis,
Hello, it's me.
Sparks Witty,
It's a me.
and of course,
Sparks away.
No, that's Chris Pratt.
Oh, it's a me.
Oh.
Chris Pratt.
and of course, I'm Brandon T. McClure. We were talking about going back to in-person recordings we tried to do earlier again, but that
then,
hasn't yet happened because we still keep alternating between the two.
Schedules,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Things
schedules.
happen.
Schedules be schedules.
But we're here now.
We
Yeah.
are here now, and we have some links in the description.
Okay.
Not a lot. Let me pull it up real quickly because I was definitely super 100% prepared. Ryan, you don't have it downright annoyed
It's in the future.
in the description.
Literally, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm gonna go do that.
But I have the link for that episode in the description.
Nice.
So,
Awesome.
you can go over there and wait.
I'll talk about it in my week what the movie I watched, and then I'll bring it up. Yeah.
And we have Sparks was kind enough to cut out our Shang-Chi review,
That's true.
and that's up as its own separate review special now
Yep.
I like
on
it.
YouTube.
Just the topics.
And then I have a conversation episode
Nice.
with Travis Alexander from the Kaiju Weekly podcast.
Sprionk.
That's also the episode. I want to talk a little bit about that episode because I really liked talking to Travis. It was a really good conversation.
Conversation.
Conversation. Thank you. It was a little late because of the week I've had, but I did make the decision in that episode to talk about how I'm going to put the show on hiatus for a bit to record new episodes. I do a long spiel on it, so I'm not going to do it here. But just know the next episode with Michael Hamilton will be the final episode of what I'm going to call season 1. So,
All right.
All right.
Season uno.
and that's all the description links.
All right. Look at that.
Yeah.
So not a lot this week. Oh, there's a Fake News Watch. I just immediately forgot. There is a Fake News Watch for episodes for Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks 5 and 6. Michael Carls from the Downright Nerdy podcast and I get together to talk about those 2 episodes we skipped the week before.
Mhm.
Solid as hell episodes. Jeffrey Coombs is in the latest episode,
Ooh,
and he's Star Trek royalty, guys. He's so good.
the Reanimator himself.
So that's up there, and then more Fake Nerd Watches are coming this week for some of the stuff that
We also put out
week.
What If 5 and 6 this week.
What if
we did put out a What
we
If 5
caught
and
up
6.
on those episodes?
Are these in here? They are. I'm just blind.
Very prepared.
Actually, Lower Decks.
Brandon's still waking up at 3 p.m.
Yes, that's true. Lower Decks 5 and 6 is actually coming up this week. What If 5 and 6, which is in the description.
You keep saying Lower Decks 5 and 6 coming out this week.
Is it 6 and 7?
I would assume because you have episode 5 up.
Then it's 6 and 7.
Look at that. Stay
Um,
tuned for that.
Hey guys, it's early.
Okay.
What If 5 and 6?
Yes.
What If Zombies and What If Killmonger save Tony Stark?
and What If 7 is up tomorrow
Yeah.
and Lower Decks is up tomorrow.
Love it.
Uh,
Love to hear it.
and you can find all those things obviously if you like this video and subscribe to this channel. So there you go. That's the links. That's all the links now.
And the Zeldas. Thank you.
That's all the links. We were pretty cold on those 2. No, we were cold on one of those What Ifs and not on the
Oh,
other.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
spoilers for our review. You should check it out. Definitely.
Yeah, totally.
Find out which one. Who wants to go first of the week?
Not me.
All right, Ben.
Take that.
Sparks?
I hear Brandon.
Take
does.
that,
Yeah, I hear
patriarchy.
Brandon does.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, I don't have a lot.
Guess what? That's me a lot of the time, too.
I'm pretty sure that's a
I,
lot of us this week.
I mentioned last week that I started a new job, and I hate it.
Huzzah.
I hate it. It's awful.
Oh, cool. I'm glad
Um,
you're already there.
I'll tell you off air. I talk
Yeah.
about it a bit in my conversation, so I don't want to retread anything.
Mhm.
But this was a really bad week, so I just kind of fell into just watching more Battlestar Galactica with Zara.
Mhm.
We're almost through season 2 of Battlestar. It's my favorite show, and right now it's offering a lot of comfort, which is strange if you know that show. But
There's
it's
humanity and nice moments in it.
yeah, I mean there are. Admiral Adama is great. So I really enjoy going back through that show.
Mhm.
I don't have a lot more to say other than that, so I'll just go on to what I did other than that. I had a whole list of things I wanted to get done.
I'm fine.
I had a whole list of things I wanted to get done, like Neon Genesis, like Evangelion, the 4th Evangelion film, more Doom Patrol. But I only got to watch 1 episode of Doom Patrol of season 2, so it's the first episode of season 2. That show is still awesome. It's incredible what they can do with such a small budget. There's a whole like miniature set that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Love that.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser is still great. Matt Bomer is still great. Timothy Dalton is great. Love it.
I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, it's a great show. I'm always amazed at just kind of the production value for obviously a small budget, but like the stuff they can get away with is wild.
I'm sure we'll embellish a little bit when we get to our book club later.
And then that. So I only watched one episode of Doom Patrol. I did watch most of the new season of Nailed It. Season 6 of Nailed It is out.
Oh wow.
This was a hilarious show. That show is so funny. Jack McBrayer was on this season.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, and it's always weird when like Joey King was on the last season, but it's weird like Jack McBrayer is like a known actor and he's on this show with these nobodies, and I was like they should really do like a celebrity Nailed It.
That's the lead up. That's the summer premiere.
Yeah, maybe. And then I watched one movie. I'm trying to get through all of the Daniel Craig James Bond films before No Time to Die. So
You're running out of it.
I'm running out of time to die.
Yeah.
I watched Casino Royale last week, and I watched Quantum of Solace just yesterday.
I also
Sounds
watched
familiar to
Quantum
me.
of Solace yesterday.
Did you?
Yes.
Did you watch the Blu-ray? Is that why you
That's
tweeted
how
me?
I saw your tweet earlier that you watched the Valkyrie trailer, and I'm like, why do you watch the Valkyrie trailer? And then I put in the Quantum of Solace Blu-ray, and immediately was the Valkyrie trailer. I'm like, oh, he's watching Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Wait, Valkyrie as in like the Tom Cruise Let's
Yes.
Kill Hitler movie?
Yeah.
Man, I remember watching that movie in theaters.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
I think it's good.
He
I liked it, yeah.
there's a bit in the trailer real quick because you brought up the tweets. I brought up the tweets
Yeah,
or whatever. Is that as the trailer goes on, there's some good like incidental trailer music in it, and all of a sudden I hear dun 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 dun. Is the Saw theme.
Mhm.
And so the Saw theme is all of a sudden playing through this Tom Cruise Let's Kill Hitler movie. And I'm like, this is wild. Why is this happening?
Because it's back before like Saw was too iconic that they couldn't just use that music.
Yeah.
And now it's too far.
Yeah, you can't do it now, but it was wild to see
Right,
it,
yeah.
to hear it there. But yeah, so I watched Quantum of Solace. It's the second Craig Bond film and the only Bond film to ever follow up from a previous Bond film. Also the shortest, which makes it very palatable. It's only an hour 24.
That's
Wow.
true.
It is
It's like Venom.
It is not a good movie though. It's a mess in editing. They clearly don't know what the story is meant to be. To be fair, it is not the director's fault. The writer's strike was happening at the same time. A lot of bad movies came out at that point.
The movie should have been postponed.
The movie should have been postponed, but the script wasn't even written when it was filming.
They were writing because I just watched the video about it. They were writing it like day by day,
Yeah.
and I'm like, how do you make big stunts like this and just like, yeah, I'll just write the script later. Who cares? I'm
Well,
like,
the action sequences were already mapped out. It was
Yeah.
just getting there.
Yeah.
I'll start talking about my week because I watched Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace this week.
They work
Because
well together. They
uh,
work well together.
They work better together,
Yeah.
certainly on Quantum of Solace's end. I don't think Quantum of Solace, even as it is, really provides a satisfying arc that follows Casino Royale. Like either
Sure.
leave it alone, or if you're going to follow up, it lacks bite. Everybody else is talking about what Bond is going through, and Bond's not really dealing with it or showing it.
Mhm.
Which is like, you can say like, oh, well, that's the whole point, is he's avoiding it. And I'm like, sure. But also like the character just literally isn't actually engaging with the material of it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is talking about, well, he's upset because Vesper.
a lot of telling,
And he's
not
just
showing.
like, no. And then he literally will not be showing that he's
Yeah.
dealing with it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so he's fine.
Yeah, it's wild.
But the end of the movie's like, nah, he was dealing with it.
There was a lot
Oil.
of there's a scene in the movie which is very clearly Judi Dench getting shot,
Oh yeah.
and she's just fine.
Oh yeah.
It's so crazy to me, like how watching this movie, and like
The fact that the
it's
movie
short.
like doesn't end with him getting Mr. White really bothers me.
yeah, because Mr. White still gets away.
Right.
They gotta
And
set up that
and like
next
and they
one.
leave the setup that like he's gonna find him again in the middle of the film because he's at a place where he is,
Oh right,
and Bond doesn't notice him.
yeah,
And so you're like, okay, so he's gonna get him in like the third. And no, that's never paid off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. The fact that they carried him over from the end of the previous film and then just left him hanging out there. And like, it wouldn't bother me if we didn't see him a second time in the movie.
hmm
That's why I'm like, man, this whole movie's just kind of like underwhelming.
But Jeffrey Wright comes back as Felix Leiter, and it's the only time that he has until No Time to Die. So I'm really happy. I'm always happy to see him back as that character.
Yeah, he has more of a character in this one than
But-
Casino Royale. He's barely a person in Casino Royale.
That's true. But he's fun in this. And
No,
then-
I mean, like, Jeffrey Wright's great. That character isn't really a character.
What's that guy? The guy that he tortured in the last movie. That's his best friend in this one. The guy who dies.
Oh, wait, that who tortured? Oh, Mathis.
Mathis. Yes.
Yeah, Mathis is like the standout part of Quantum of Solace.
It's funny to me because like days ago he was being tortured by MI6.
Yeah,
in like response to this movie where it's set, and like he's just like, yeah, okay, Bond, I forgive you. We'll just go off and do this adventure together.
Yeah.
We homies now.
And it's like you were just tortured, dude.
but he's also like, he's an all right character in Casino Royale. I would argue he's the best character in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
honestly make that argument. But the problem is like the whole film doesn't hold enough weight on Bond's connection to him.
Mhm.
Even his moment when he gets revenge for him is like a blink and you miss it.
I totally forgot when he's just like, we have a mutual friend.
We have
I
a
was like,
mutual friend and he shoots the guy and the guy's dead like instantly, and then we move on and I'm like, oh, all right.
yeah, when that happened, I was like, oh, that was the guy. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Quantum of Solace has a lot of problems. It's all right. It definitely like lives in the shadow of Casino Royale in a not great way.
Yeah,
And Casino Royale hasn't aged the best. It's good. It hasn't aged the best. It's a little long in the tooth.
Mhm.
There is a really, like, in hindsight, awful handling of a poker tell.
Oh, yeah.
It's really bad. It's like
Yeah.
soap. Like, we're supposed to be like, man, Bond's so good at reading people. I'm like, anybody in that room could read that tell. And then I think like the movie makes you think like they're going to be like, oh no, he was tricking Bond to make the tell really obvious. And they're
Definitely
like,
does.
no, he just found out that Bond knew that was his tell, so he milked it, but it was his tell. And it's like, this is not good poker writing.
Bad poker, good parkour.
And it's really funny to watch like this like these 4 movies, because by the time it's always like Casino Royale, Lashif is working for Quantum. We meet Quantum in Quantum of Solace, and then Skyfall ignores all that.
Right.
And
to
then-
its benefit.
And then Spectre is like, oh no, it was actually Spectre all along, and they killed Vesper, and they were running Quantum, and
Because
like,
I got the rights to Spectre. Like,
'cause
oh,
I-
we can finally be James Bond now.
But it's just seeing this. I think it was a mistake to serialize the Craig Bond films, because they keep kind of doing it at the end of each movie, being like, "Oh, by the way, we're connecting these movies." If they were
know-
better, I might
know,
say
I
it differently.
I don't particularly mind for like a new modern franchise to make them more interconnected, but not to the degree that they did. Like it could still be like an anthology type thing, but maybe do have the bad guys be interconnected. So the final movie is like, oh, it's the whole time like different missions meant something.
Yeah, but you got to think about it ahead of time, because by
No,
the time
yeah,
we get
yeah.
to like Skyfall and Spectre, it was clearly that they were like, "Oh, we're going to drop the thing," and
Yeah.
then we're like, "Oh no, we're not."
So my whole thing about it is that like the implication was when Casino Royale came out, to my mind, that this was supposed to be the thing that made Bond a cold-hearted bastard towards women, and
Yes.
he never cared about relationships because of what happened with Vesper, so he never got invested in it, and he became a more efficient killer because of it, and that was going to be like who he was after that. But then every movie that isn't Skyfall is like, no, Vesper still hangs over his head, man, like
Yeah.
all the time, like he's actually never let it go, and I'm like, oh, like what? That's kind of weird.
yeah,
Why?
I think it's time. It's time to die.
Yeah, I really want No Time to Die to be good. The track record says it will be, because you have like a good one, then a one, then a good one, then a one.
Let's
Yeah.
hope.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
But I'm also like, because the previous like Quantum of Solace being the follow up that it was, and then Spectre already trying to like retroactively bring in everything that came before as
Yeah.
relevant. This film also doing that is like, yeah, all right,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and I like Craig as Bond, and I wish that he had like better movies, honestly. Like I think Skyfall and Casino Royale are like top 10 Bond, but like Spectre and Quantum really like take him down a peg, and it's such a shame.
It's, if you look at like Mission Impossible 4 on
Yeah.
against the Craig Bond films, what they got right there is like there is continuing relationships and story going on around Ethan, but it's not the primary focus of the film. Isn't tied to that.
Yeah.
It's that he's dealing with a thing and there's a subplot of what's continuing on in the background for him.
Yeah.
And that's always the thing. Whereas Bond's films, when they want to continue it, are always like, it's subplot, but it's actually main plot, but it's also a subplot of the main plot.
It's all connected.
So instead, like the main plot becomes, well, this is a small linchpin in the bigger thing of the thing that's bothering Bond and is the interconnected thing. And so like it does the inverse and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The next one's Skyfall, and I'm excited to revisit that one.
Oh, I am too. Yeah.
Bond talk.
Oh, by the way, real quickly before you get into the rest of your week, Mag is in the chat.
Oh, wow.
There he is. And he
You
says,
made it.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. What up?
all
Was
right.
that the end of your week?
That's my week.
Benjamin, let's go down. The... Or no,
No, I already
you already started.
took the
Yeah,
baton,
you're
so I'll
right.
go.
You already started.
Yeah, I'm doing the Bond stuff because I also like I hadn't seen Casino Royale or Quantum of Solace in so long.
Me
I was
too.
like, I have horrible memory of everything that is in Skyfall because I fell asleep during Spectre, so and saw it once. So I needed to refresh on everything before No Time to Die.
Yeah, I was the same way. I haven't seen Quantum since theaters.
Didn't you and I see Spectre in IMAX?
We did.
Wow.
Also,
Yeah,
I think
it's been-
Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace do a big disservice to Daniel Craig in general. Like he's way more talented than I think those scripts allow him to be. And I could kind of like give it some leeway of the first one with Casino Royale, but like knowing how it goes, I'm like, we really don't use him as well as we should. Anyway, I watched more of Only Murders in the Building. I'm caught up. That show's real good. Really, really recommend it. That's a great Hulu show, my friends. I finished the season of Flash.
Oh,
I'm free.
Freedom.
That kind of sucks how you finish a TV show and you're like, I never have to watch this ever again.
Man, it's they literally have the Speed Force fighting with them against Godspeed in the finale, as represented by Barry's mom. And also a whole bunch of speedsters, but also the Speed Force. And it's like, oh man, but we just can't get Godspeed, darn it. We gotta get Thawne in here. And I'm like,
Oh.
all right, I guess the Speed Force itself isn't enough with all these speedsters. Go get Thawne, I guess. That makes sense. Did you guys ever think I would tell you that season 7 of The Flash ended with Thawne and Barry fighting Godspeed with speed lightsabers?
What?
I heard about the speed lightsabers.
Speed lightsabers. Are you shitting me?
I'll be honest.
No.
When I saw a clip of the speed lightsabers, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
You know, in a season that maybe hadn't like dragged itself through the mud the whole time, maybe it would have been. I admit, like, I think it looks better than like just watching them like zip around and then a slow motion moment where they're like this, which we've seen a dozen times before, and then they zip around and there's another slow motion like this, and then zip around. Like it's definitely more engaging than that. I'll give them that, but it's kind of like the moment like they do it and they come up like lightsabers. I'm like, yo, what? I was literally doing dishes, and then all of a sudden I was like, hold up, what's happening?
Wow.
Also, they introduced the guy who's actually Godspeed for like right at the tail end of the season. Again, like I feel like the pandemic had something to do with some of this because it's a shortened season and all this kind of stuff. But like, man, you just don't get any time with God's like the whole narrative behind it is weak as hell.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to they at least set up like Thawne's involvement for the Inferno crossover, and I'm like, cool. I do want to see that crossover next season. So
I'm seeing behind the scenes stuff of like actors posting stuff together, and I'm like, oh, I'll watch the crossovers at least. Like,
yeah,
those are cute usually.
I want to talk about one other thing that I did this week. I read a bunch of Dune. That's obviously happening in the
Bene
background. We're
Gesserit.
talking about that.
I also read Dune.
I'm not reading comics right now because I'm reading Dune when I have time to read, or our book club.
Yeah.
I want to do it this way. So first thing is I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I don't usually talk about what I'm listening to, but I do want to talk about this one, which is there is a podcast called The Journal, which is from the Wall Street Journal. Right now they have a series. There's only 4 episodes out, but there's going to be more, called The Facebook Files. And I just want to recommend that everybody listens to it because it's easy to sit and go and say like, man, Facebook sucks, Mark Zuckerberg sucks, like all that kind of stuff. The like system of Facebook is bad. But not really get what that means and how pervasive it is in our world and how entrenched it is. And this isn't me saying like, it's honestly not possible for me to cut Facebook or Instagram out of my life. I need Instagram for the show, and I need Facebook for my job, which is silly, but I do.
Really?
Yes.
Weird.
I have to have
corporate synergy.
So I'm like, I can't cut these things out. And I'm not saying like people should, nor do I think like that's the message of the Facebook Files, but I do think it is an amount of like, we need to be talking about the things that are coming out. So what this whole thing is on the journal, they have access to internal documents from Facebook that show things that are known problems. These are things that like they show the records of people within Facebook saying, hey, this is an issue, putting out the things that could solve it, and higher ups, sometimes Zuckerberg himself, saying, yeah, but don't do that.
Oh,
And that's what this is. And it's all really damning. And these are things through like celebrities who post revenge porn against people who claim that they sexually assaulted them. This is Facebook has information and data and studies about how Facebook and Instagram specifically affect teens' mental health that they don't share. And they do know it's harmful. They know it. And that they have solutions that they're not acting on. And then there's also like, this is the one that really got me. The third part of this talks about how it's used for human trafficking in other parts of the world. And that Facebook could do things about it, and where they have taken actions and where they haven't, and what kind of pressure has caused them to, and what kind of pressure. And it's also really weird because you have an example story where the person who was trafficked also was able to use Facebook to get out of the situation.
I see.
So it's like you see both sides of the blade of it.
Yeah.
In that situation. And it's thus that we shouldn't have social media, and more like there are clearly ways we can be more responsible with it. And there are clearly things that we should know about them, knowing that they can be more responsible about it, that they're not acting on. We need to put the pressure for them to act on it. So it's not necessarily like we shouldn't have Facebook at all, or we shouldn't have these social media things at all. But there are ways to be responsible about. There are things that even they know they could be more responsible about. We need to put the pressure on and understand what those things are. So I highly recommend listening to it. Each part is 30 minutes. There's only 4.
Facebook files?
They are releasing more Facebook files, but that's not the podcast name. The podcast
Journal.
is The Journal.
Got it.
From the Wall Street Journal. It's very informative. I do think we should all just be aware, because we use these things all the time. And the last thing I'll talk about is a new chapter of Dragon Ball Super came out. And I really, really hope, because I was mad that things haven't been spoiled for you, Brandon.
No, I haven't been spoiled.
Good, because Comic Book Resources was posting some shit, and I was like, yo, you gonna spoil it. You gonna spoil it. I'm so excited. They're doing stuff with a character I didn't think was on the table. So
Chaozu.
I'm so pumped.
He
Okay.
becomes a legendary Super Saiyan for no reason.
There's some really cool stuff happening, guys.
My reward for finishing Dune will be the catching up on Dragon Ball
Oh,
Super.
it's so I'm way pumped. I love it. There's this another great thing. This isn't as spoilery that happened in the chapter, is all about like Vegeta, to push his power, his new form. He needs to like try and engage with his ego. So he's trying to do that by trying to act like who he used to be. And it's not
The Prince of
100%
Saiyans.
working. And he even admits to himself, like him talking to Beerus, but Beerus isn't there. And he's like, I just can't do it. I can't be that person anymore. I can't be that young, vile person I used to be.
Vegeta.
So he has to like find a different way to access this power, and he's trying to push himself to do it. And he has this great moment where he asks Kakarot, like, let me finish this fight. And Kakarot's like, I think you're gonna die. And he's like, fine, let me finish this fight though. And I'm like, oh man, this is the good shit. This is the good times, man.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay, so we talk about how Prince Zuko in Avatar: Last Airbender has like one of the best redemption arcs. I also feel Vegeta needs to be in that conversation.
Oh,
as well.
100%.
With all
He's
this,
been in that
He's
conversation.
been in that conversation for decades.
well,
Sorry.
I haven't heard about it much. Okay.
Oh yeah, in Dragon Ball Z he gets
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Vegeta is massive archetype. Like there is no world where Zuko isn't on some level inspired by Vegeta.
All right.
That's
There is
100%.
He's the
there.
prince who becomes a good guy.
Yeah,
The
you're right.
reason why
You're right.
the reason why I think you might not have heard of it is because most of the people that are on Twitter, are like the younger generation who haven't
Yeah.
seen Dragon Ball Z, and they've seen Avatar.
Yeah.
So being like Zuko and not knowing the context of Vegeta, I
Vegeta,
think is kind of like why you've
It's
been
'cause he-
missing out
honestly,
that conversation.
He's been redeemed for so long, like he's just been a hero. Like he's a hero.
Mhm.
He was Majin Vegeta in the 90s.
But I
Yeah,
think
like-
what's so great about what Super's provided is that you have these moments like the one that Brandon read with Moro, where he's on Namek and he's doing all these things to be like, I won't let you do anything to these people, because he's trying to atone for his
Yeah.
murdering of them when he was there.
Yeah.
And that's just like those character beats were never in the original Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball Z. And so like having that kind of stuff fleshed out with Vegeta here is like really powerful, because Vegeta has very much become like a I know how to, like, Vegeta is finding his own way to be like, I know how to be a better savior than Kakarot. Like, even if he can't be more powerful, he's better about knowing how to protect other people. And he's kind of finding his own niche in that, which is really cool.
Because Goku just wants to fight.
Oh yeah, and Vegeta's like, I actually give a shit about like making sure these people don't die.
Yeah, I don't want Bulma and Trunks to die.
Kakarot's just like Dragon Balls, and Vegeta's like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe just don't let them die.
Food and fighting.
Vegeta's all like, yo, I gotta go to a parent teacher conference with Bulma and Trunks, so
But I'm gonna be mad about it.
Anyway, Dragon Ball Super took yet another twist out of its pocket, and I was like, yo, this is real good. I didn't think we were gonna go here. This is great.
Nice.
awesome.
Who next?
Ryan.
Hey, what's up? I played. So they released a 2008 Iron Man skin for Marvel's Avengers, and I'm a big old shill for that guy. So I definitely spend money on that I didn't need to spend. But, you know, whatever. I work hard. And I play that. You know, I always play that. It's my good comfort game. I watched 2 excellent movies this week. I watched. Let's start with the happy one. I watched Another Round, which is a Danish Mads Mikkelsen movie. It's about a group of friends. It's a dramedy. It's about a group of friends who are turning 40, and like, you know, they're kind of like stale in life, you know, like they do like the regular life thing. Like, hey, I did this study where when you're born, your blood alcohol level is at like 0.5. So we need to live our lives being kind of drunk all the time to see if that actually makes our lives better. And it's hilarious and sad at the same time. I want to bring this movie up because it has the only time I've ever cried out of joy in a movie. I often cry during emotional, sad stuff because that's easy, you know. Emotional manipulation is easy, right? But Mads Mikkelsen has a scene at the end of the movie that is just so expressive about like his character like becoming free as a person that I've never seen in a movie before, and I was literally crying with joy, and I've never had that happen. I was like, this is the power of movies, man. It's like it made me really appreciate and love movies. And like, if you want to feel real good, watch that movie. It's on Hulu. It's free.
Nice.
Then I watched a real bad time, and it's called Possessor. And it's a great movie, but it's like it's David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg.
Oh, got it. Yep.
It's a movie. I'm not gonna go into too much because it's super crazy, super wild. If you like Malignant, watch this movie. It's about a hitman who takes over the bodies of other people to commit the assassinations, and then they kill themselves and gets transported back into their body. But the implications and the surreal, like cerebral nature of the movie is super crazy and super wild. Definitely one of my favorite movies. It came out a couple like last year or 2 years ago, but truly insane shit. Like he is like definitely like the son of his father, like making great horror. I've been thinking about that movie all week, man. It has some insanely disturbing imagery.
Is Brandon Cronenberg old right now?
Is
David Cronenberg alive?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, then he was in Star Trek Discovery this season.
Yes. Yeah, David Cronenberg is like 70, 80. Yeah. Those are the 2 movies I watched. Oh, I also watched, I guess this is a movie. I watched Vampire Hunter D, the 1985 original OVA or whatever they're called. And that's going to be for Downright Annoyed, Bored and Annoyed this week in a couple hours. That movie is awesome. Oh my God. It's Castlevania, but it takes place 10,000 years in the future. And it's basically the Age of Apocalypse where like the nobility of vampires rule the world, and it's basically like a class system thing, but it takes place in like a post-apocalyptic future where it's like science and magic are mixed, and like there's a bunch of mutants like the X-Men, but they're all like evil. And I looked it up, and the guy was inspired by like old Hammer films, because the villain of the thing, his name's Count Lee, and he's inspired by Christopher Lee from the Hammer horror films.
That's cool.
And after I learned, I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. Like it feels very much like Castlevania Netflix, but like 40 years, 30 years before. Excellent, great animation. There's definitely been some like sequels. It's based off of manga. Been sequel animation things, and like I want to check all those out because like I was so inspired by this. I'm so excited to talk about it. It's from 1985 and it's an anime, so it's got some gross anime shit. You know, what are you gonna do? But everything else is like stunning, awesome. It's free on YouTube. In high quality. That's why I watched it. I highly recommend it if you want to watch some really cool anime stuff. Cool Draculas.
Cool.
I read a 4-issue comic called Chamber, which is based off the New Mutant. Based off, he was also in Generation X. He's the dude in New Mutants who has a giant flaming face. His name's Jono Starsmore. He's British. I didn't know he's British. And 2, he talks telepathically because he doesn't have a mouth. I also didn't realize that either. So learning a lot of cool stuff about that guy. It's by Brian K. Vaughan. It came out the same time he was writing Why the Last Man back in 2003. It's also aged poorly with some stuff, but I definitely could tell Brian K. Vaughan is a guy. He is a guy he's trying to do right by this writing, and just, you know, he was just young and some of the stuff doesn't hold up, but that's a great
it's also
comic.
just the time.
It's also just a time, yeah. But it's a great murder mystery comic about like mutants and like going to a school and like, you know, dealing with like being oppressed, and like there's a character who's in a wheelchair, who's the roommate of Jonathan. And again, like some of the writing of it's not good, but I really like the character because his whole thing is like he had to work really, really hard to get to the school. And right now in 2003, mutant X-Men, people get scholarships for being mutants, right? So Jonathan gets to go to school for free while this dude's in a wheelchair. He's like, I worked my ass off and you just like walked in and you have like super abilities and you're super hot and like nobody cares about me. And it's like, my life really sucks, dude. And Jonathan's like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm really sorry. And it's just really, really good stuff. So I checked that out on Marvel Unlimited. I love Marvel Unlimited. I read a lot of Chris Claremont X-Men, guys. I read the best period. I read the Dark Phoenix stuff. There's a reason that's like so legendary. And now that I've read it like in its completion, like 30 issues of everything, man, screw those X-Men movies, man. They, oh my God. Like, and also like, no offense to modern comics, but like screw everyone who's written the Phoenix in the last like 15 years, because like the Phoenix is not just a comic book, video game power-up. It is so much more integral to like Jean Grey as a person and like cosmic Marvel, and it's like they just turn into like, oh, now I'm super powerful. So X-Men's great, Chris Claremont's great. Ben, take it away.
Yeah, I didn't do a whole lot this week.
Beautiful.
Let's see. Pretty much the only media I really consumed was like I was playing Super Mario 3D Land as a bit of a comfort game when I come home from a long, hard day of work, just like do a level, then go to bed. Besides,
I played Spider-Man. I did the same thing with Spider-Man.
Oh, I 100% at Spider-Man.
Miles
Nice.
Morales. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did get the platinum for Spider-Man. That's awesome.
That was actually easy.
It reminded me of like comfort game. I did play a comfort game. I played Spider-Man.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, there was a Nintendo Direct this week. We're going to talk about it, but the way I had to watch the Direct was I was mad at, not because the Direct happened. I was mad when the Direct was happening, because normally when the Direct happens, it's either at 9 in.the morning or it's at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which for me is perfect because then I could watch it before I have to go to work. Well, this time it was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is around the time when I leave my house to go to work.
Watch it in the car.
Which is what I did. I
did that
actually
with-
left
Okay,
my
then you watched it.
I left my house early and I watched it on my phone in the parking lot at work. And then Fanny was texting me because I didn't get to work. I was in the parking lot like 20 minutes after the Direct started. So Fanny's like texting me all the spoilers of, I was like, hey, they're announcing the Smash character on the 5th. It's like, oh my God, this is coming up. I'm like, you're spoiling it for me. Stop.
Spoiling an announcement,
Man.
Spoiling an event. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, we've reached that time period.
You've reached that time period.
We've
loves
reached that
Ben
time
loves
period.
directs.
I do. I look forward to a lot.
Man, you got spoiled for the announcement of the character. That's
What
not
was
even
the-
a thing.
I also played Knockout City with Pi.
There you go.
Nice. The only other media I watched that wasn't for like What If or Malignant or stuff that we had to do is out of sheer whim and how short they were, I figured, F it, I'm going to start Star Wars Visions. Holy crap, the first 3 episodes are awesome.
Very excited to watch that
I
show.
loved all 3. I loved every single second of those episodes. It was like, it's just some really good shit. The first one, I feel for me, is the best one because it's just so different and it's just a very beautiful contained story. And the way the animation is and how it's black and white, but there's like, you only see 3 colors, the red, the green, and the blue for the lightsabers. And it's just so beautifully well done. It's the first episode is the duel. I absolutely love it. So far, that's my favorite one. I did get to the one of the Trigger episodes, and I really like the Trigger one, but the first one was just like, damn, that set the bar high.
I am hopefully going to watch it this week. I'm so excited.
Besides that, I went to Frankenstein's again yesterday, and a buddy of mine bought me one of the Pokemon trainer packs, which is where you get oversized Pokemon cards,
They're
and you
huge.
get 2 booster packs, which is actually cool because I thought when you get one of those packs, you only get 1 card, and it was one of the 3 starters. And they just released the Johto starters, Cyndaquil, Totodile, and Chikorita. Good news is you get all 3 of the starters. So you don't have to like keep buying these packs to say, oh, and you get all 3 of them right off the bat, which is good. And it's the original artwork when those cards were first released. So I'm like, hey, I like this. This is cool. I'm going to be hanging up Cyndaquil next to my whatchamacallit?
I don't know, Ben.
The foam, the print of the foam print that I have of my Pokemon Silver.
No. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be hanging Cyndaquil up next to that. And also included with these cards, you also get 2 booster packs of the regular Pokemon cards. So I figured, okay, I haven't opened Pokemon cards like this since we went and saw Detective Pikachu. And the first pack I opened, I pull a full art holographic Rayquaza. the first legendary. It's probably the rarest Pokemon card I've ever pulled in my entire life.
I looked how much it costs, Ben.
I don't know. I was just like, holy shit! I just pulled a legendary Pokemon.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So for me, I'm like, and that was my first pack I opened. I was like, holy shit. So other than that, that's my week.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Should we get into our news then?
Let's do it.
We'll do. All right. We're here for the news. It's bread and butter time. So we got some sad news up top.
It's a sad sandwich.
Willie Garson, known for Sex and the City, his roles in Sex and the City. I know him from Stargate SG-1. He played the creator of Wormhole X, the TV series based off the true life Stargate.
Look up a picture and you've seen him.
Yeah, he passed away at the age of 57 due to a battle with cancer.
Dang it, dude! Cancer has taken out like literally everyone we talked about recently.
Yeah.
I can't. God damn it! It's awful.
Hey, F cancer, man.
Yeah.
He already filmed the scenes for the new Sex and the City reboot.
Oh, it's. I mean, I wasn't sure that thing was actually like happening. Like, this is the weird fact about me. Like, I grew up with a single mother, so or when she wasn't married. So like I watched a lot of female-led shows. So like I watched all of Sex and the City in the movies. So like I'll probably watch this.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be his last thing. It looks like the Sex and the City reboot.
That's a shame, man.
That is.
So, yeah. All right. Wormhole X is a really funny joke in Stargate SG-1. The military wants to save them, wants to be like, let's make sure they don't do anything too real to what the Stargate program is, but like maybe this could be good cover for us. Like, oh, you've heard of Stargate? You're talking about Wormhole X.
Storgate.
It's all right. And then they're making a movie. So it's a good show, Stargate.
I believe it.
Speaking of good shows, we got some quick news here. The Orville season 3, which is actually going to be retitled The Orville New Horizons, is coming to Hulu.
Soft relaunch?
A little bit
Sounds like it.
because it's moving from FX to Hulu.
Okay.
Fox to Hulu. Sorry. And they released a little teaser. It's just the bridge and some dialogue for the next season. But they revealed the release date of March 10th, 2022. So I'm very excited.
Cool.
I love the Orville. I'm so happy to have it back.
It's nice to have a good Star Trek show, right?
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just
well,
kidding.
we
I'm
got
just kidding.
two.
I'm just kidding.
Lower Decks. Lower Decks, Orville, very similar. Fantastic Beasts. Let's scroll on for a minute. Fantastic Beasts released its next title. It's Fantastic Beasts :
Did we find the beast yet?
No.
Damn it.
Fantastic Beasts : The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I was already not on board, but like that's just like screams like we're desperate.
Oh, they're 100% desperate.
Like that's the one thing I don't need to know the secrets of Dumbledore. I'm sorry. I'm not interested.
So I'm not even going to tackle the fact that he was gay, though.
I'm not interested. He's got like a what was the thing
The
with the last movie?
The not interesting secrets of Dumbledore.
What's the thing? Like he has like a secret brother. What was the
Yes.
dumb thing? I don't
Ezra
care.
Miller is his secret
yeah.
brother.
I super don't care anymore.
Wait,
Ezra Miller is revealed at the end of Grindelwald to
Right.
be a Dumbledore.
His
who
name's
was-
like Erroneous
because the
or something.
babies were swapped on a ship.
Don't you remember the baby
Oh.
swap? I don't remember that. Oh, I'm so glad we're not talking about this
10
movie.
years after his mom canonically died.
Hell yeah. McGonagall.
The McGonagall on this. Oh,
Yeah, we got to move on.
what a terrible movie.
We allowed the minute.
Anyway.
No,
Suffice it
no.
to say, listeners, we're not going to review this movie.
There are plenty of people who will.
Go back to our Crimes of Grindelwald review and you'll know why.
The review that broke me.
I think you could just watch that movie yourself and
I
realize.
can't think about this. Let's
Then
move
why don't
on.
we? Then why don't I get you to think about Miss Marvel,
I can think about Miss Marvel.
Which,
I like Miss
as-
Marvel.
which, as we suspected,
Wait, they moved it to April next
April
year, right?
15th, 2022.
That is a weird time, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're aiming for with that one. That's you because a Harry Potter franchise
Oh,
film
okay.
is usually a
Like summer?
That's
summer
close. No, that's
or
November.
Christmas
I don't know.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
They're just like April. I think that they're just trying not to be in competition with anything at this point.
That makes sense.
probably. But Miss Marvel, as we suspected when we found out when Hawkeye was coming out, Miss Marvel has been pushed to 2022.
Not surprised.
All right.
I'm sure it's the first show
It's
next year.
it's probably early. Yeah, there's always just like a little break between these things. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect we're looking at Miss Marvel,
February.
then She-Hulk, and then Moon Knight.
Most likely.
Oh
Yeah.
God, what a lineup! Oh
Ooh,
man,
That's gonna be a good
what
one.
a year.
That's gonna be a really good one.
You can't. No offense to the shows that we've got, but like, yeah, you mess up She-Hulk, you mess up Moon Knight, then I'm mad.
They-
then I'm mad.
and Marvel, there's still time to fix Miss Marvel's powers.
It's
It will be cool because these are gonna.
Still time.
I am excited because next year will be the year where we get the Marvel Disney Plus shows that are like the title characters are new.
Yeah.
We are getting the new introductions of characters.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Like we've seen new characters introduced in the other shows, but like this is like the focus.
The
is these
introduction.
new-
It's very much the same way as Shang-Chi. Like
Yeah.
Shang-Chi was the first like new character we were introduced
I guess
to.
Hawkeye's the closest to that because we're getting Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
but like
as like a
this is
main
going to be like
character, yeah.
dedicated a dedicated Miss Marvel show is pretty exciting.
She's still technically a Hawkeye, so it's
Okay, so some news for you, Sparks.
Yeah, what's up,
The Amazing World of Gumball
guys? That's such a good cartoon.
making a comeback.
yum.
Yeah, I know that there were hopes that there could be a film when they were coming out of the end of the show, and I'm glad that that's come through. There was still rumblings that like, oh yeah, that was going to move forward, but the wild news is that it's coming with a revival of the show as well.
So the news is it's going to be heading to Cartoon Network and HBO Max. Ben Bucklet?
Bless you.
I'm not sure.
Who is the creator of The Amazing World of Gumball,
Yeah.
is going to return to direct the movie. The movie is going to be written by Shane Mack, and he's coming back to showrun the new show. We only know about the movie, though. It will be designed to serve as a bridge between the original series and the new one.
Wow.
The film begins when Gumball's biggest fan finds the show's missing episode and accidentally opens a portal connecting his world to Gumball's cartoon world.
That sounds charming as hell.
Upon meeting his heroes, our superfan decides to team up with Gumball, Darwin, Anais, Richard, and Nicole to save them from a nefarious force overtaking Elmore while inadvertently unleashing a threat of their very own.
So yeah, this sounds like it's going to cause the reboot of the show, and the reboot of the show will be new because Gumball, I've said it before, but like Gumball is kids' Deadpool. It is incredibly aware that it is a television show. Some of the characters are even aware of it to an extreme degree. Like there's a whole several episodes arc, but like the episodes aren't right next to each other, but like over the course of like 2 seasons of a character trying to make his way back into the television show after his character was written out.
Oh, that's funny.
Like
That's like a horror movie concept.
yeah, no, and he's half his body got jumbled when he was written off the show, so like he got mangled by being written out because he got thrown into the static of unimportance,
Mhm.
and so like half his body is constant static.
That's
That
awesome.
sounds awesome.
And he comes after Gumball. I'm telling you guys, like this is a really tight, awesome show.
I know a lot of people online really like that show. It's
I
really
remember-
cool.
I remember watching Gumball when I was in college, and at first I was like writing the show off because I was like, "This is just nonsense." There's no, and then the more I watched it, I was like, "No, this is actually okay."
a
All right.
lot of those like that era of cartoon. You can look at like if you're just not like watching actively, you're like, this is just nonsense. But then like watching them, you find something.
Yeah, like
There's-
I found the more I watched, the more
Chowder.
Chowder is so good. My roommate and my girlfriend, they watch Chowder, and I'm like eating my lunch. I'm like watching
You
it.
eating some chowder?
Yeah, I'm eating some chowder.
Chowder and Flapjack were ahead of their time on Cartoon Network. They were ahead of the curve of like what was coming.
Yeah.
Gumball, like there's another good example is just an episode where Gumball decides he needs to be a better person, so he stops insulting other people and just tries to fundamentally be good, but that makes it so that he can no longer be the main character of the show because he no longer creates drama.
That's awesome.
So the show reorients itself around a different character
That's
and
funny.
changes its genre, and they're like, we need to fix Gumball, he needs to be himself. Oh no.
That that reminds me just real quick of an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because like they're all assholes and they're like, what if we just try to be nice to each other? And the whole episode's really awkward and it doesn't work. And it's like, no, I hate all of you. We can't do this. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm stoked for this news. It's exactly the show that can use this kind of format. So I'm pumped for that movie. That
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
I haven't even seen it. I'm always a fan of like things that get to come back, and not just like with a movie, with also another show. Like that's just really cool.
I see, excuse me, I see memes and clips of Gumball every once in a while when I'm just perusing the internet, and every time I see the clip of when Gumball and Darwin are on the street and a truck goes over them and Darwin's soul leaves his body, he's like, no, get back in there, and Gumball's like, well, at least your soul's going upward. It's like every time I see, or like the balloon where it's like, yeah, there's a fun treat, and then he's like eating a fruit, and then it's like, hey, how'd you eat that if you were talking, and he's like, yes. So, just stuff like that. It's like, I really need to just sit down and just binge all of Gumball. This
Really
show is
should. Now's the time.
hilarious.
Now's the
It
time.
is.
Well, Sparks.
Yeah.
That's not the only good news for you this week.
No, it's not.
Teen Wolf.
Some very similar news, I think.
Teen Wolf is coming back.
Yeah, with what?
A Paramount Plus movie.
Oh, cool.
Jeff Davis, who is the creator of the series, will write and produce the film. He won't direct. We don't know who's directing yet. They're meeting with all the cast to come back.
Martin Scorsese.
I suspect the entire cast is coming back because all of their Instagram accounts shared, because I follow a bunch of them, and all of them were sharing the Teen Wolf Paramount Plus.
What about Superman?
Oh, so they're all coming back. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He did it. Crystal Reed did it.
Oh,
Colin
from
Roden
Swamp
did
Thing.
it.
Cool.
Dylan O'Brien?
Dylan O'Brien did it.
He was on Swamp. He was on Teen Wolf.
Yes, that's where Dylan O'Brien got his start.
I like Dylan O'Brien.
Yes, he was very good on the show.
I never wanted to watch it.
And oh god, Colton Haynes shared
From
it too.
Arrow?
That's right.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. I might
Yeah,
have to
well,
watch that show.
this is going to be part of an this apparently movie was happening anyway, but they moved it from MTV to Paramount Plus because Jeff Davis made an overall deal with Paramount Plus that will see the Wolf Pack, which I guess is a sequel series to Teen Wolf
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah, it's based off some novels, but it is working into the Teen Wolf
Mythology.
world.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing is the main character of Scott McCall, he becomes like an alpha leader of a wolf pack, but over time there become more young wolves and they're growing up. So like they were introducing like new wolves towards the end of the Teen Wolf show. So I'm not surprised if we're going to pick up with probably at least one of those younger characters being the new lead
Right.
for a whole new cast.
And we'll also see the Aeon Flux live action reboot come to Paramount Plus
Oh, word.
that he's working on.
Yes.
Okay. All
It's
right.
wild.
Yeah, that was the bit where I was like, "Excuse me."
That's cool. I mean, Aeon Flux is really cool, and it was on MTV, like animated, like that. That thing's really cool. Man, I just still can't believe, like, no matter how good Teen Wolf is, I still can't believe that it came from that Michael J. Fox movie.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
believe
just so
I can't
weird.
believe that there's a show that was on MTV that I'm like, yo, honestly, one of the best shows that was on
It's
genre
surprising.
television.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, he's also the creator of Criminal Minds, which I just found out.
Oh, that show's less than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this. I honestly, I didn't need it. Honestly, like I was very content. I got a lot of good Teen Wolf. I was happy when Teen Wolf made it past season 2. I was like, cool.
Now it's gonna be
we're like,
called
we're doing it.
Do you want me to
Man
tell you
Wolf.
this? Do you want me to tell you what the movie's about?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah. A terrifying evil has emerged in the town of Beacon Hills. I almost said Bacon Hills.
Yeah, yum.
The wolves are howling once again, calling for the return of banshees, were-coyotes, hellhounds, kitsunes,
Bless you.
kitsunes,
Kitsune.
sure, and every other shapeshifter in the night. But only a werewolf like Scott McCall, no longer a teenager yet still an alpha, can gather both new allies and reunite trusted friends to fight back against what could be the most powerful and deadliest enemy they've ever faced.
Man Wolf.
Guys, I'm so excited. Like,
Not
I
quite a
really-
teen. I love that.
I really, really love that show.
I will-
I'm so
you know what?
excited.
I bet they'll make it. Do you think they'll make it standalone enough where I can just watch that with you and it'll all be fine? Do you think?
I have no idea.
You're watching the movie being like, he's not a
To be
teenager.
honest, the fact that he mentioned all the creatures he mentioned, I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah.
They introduce a lot of cool, like their takes on a lot of cool monsters. Like it's way beyond werewolves on that show.
Cool.
And so it might be 2 layers too deep, but we'll see.
And then in good news, I think for all of us, Doctor Who, we know that the showrunner Chris Chibnall is leaving after this next season with Jodie Whittaker, and we now know who will replace him as none other than Russell T Davies, the man who brought it back in 2005.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised with the phrasing of this because, like, what I first saw was he'll come back for the 60th anniversary, and I'm like, cool,
Yeah.
like, so just that. And then they're like, no, he's going to be the showrunner starting with the 60th anniversary, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
because he is returning just in time for the 60th anniversary, which means we're due for a new special that will probably more David Tennant again. I just realized more Russell T Davies writing David Tennant again. Oh my God!
This, like, when this is announced, like, the thing I can compare it to is like, oh, Jonathan Hickman is coming back to Marvel to write the X-Men. It's like, oh, the
So-
dude who's good at his job's coming back to do the thing again. I'm like, oh, this is just like, no offense to like the last couple seasons of Doctor Who. Like, I've watched some of it and I've liked it, but like, just those early seasons were just like,
I
they're
won't say
different.
anything about Chibnall's because I haven't watched
Yeah,
any of
neither will
I.
Chibnall's time, so I won't speak on it.
Yeah.
I want to. I need to. This is probably the thing that's going to push me to like really go
Catch
through
up.
it and catch up. So I'm like, I want to be in the moment when it happens.
Same.
Because I don't want to just try and jump it. Like I've wanted to watch Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. I really like her, so I really want to watch her Doctor. I just need to. I want to finish Capaldi's before I do
Yeah.
that. This is awesome.
I
I
think
don't
this
I
is-
don't think we see necessarily David Tennant come back.
For the 60th?
I'm not gonna bet on it, but you know what would be a cool inverse, I think?
Yeah.
We get one back. Eccleston.
Yeah, because he's doing all the crossover stuff.
Just
He-
give me
he'll
just
come
give
back.
me Eccleston and whoever the current doctor is.
Yeah.
I will take that. With
I
Davies, I will take that.
I don't think that Davies, specifically Davies, will pass up the opportunity to get as many old doctors back as he could for the 60th.
I think that's possible. We also we don't know that they're doing a special, right? They just said that
We
he's
don't
back
know. Yeah.
because it's the 60th anniversary and there will be a show.
Everyone just wants a Christmas special.
Well, no,
yeah.
every Doctor Who significant anniversary has had a special. Every single one except for like the 40s, the 40-year
40th.
one, because it wasn't on the air.
Because it wasn't there, yeah.
But like, so every single major anniversary has had a special, and that brings back all the other doctors.
No, I get you.
So I think that we're probably looking at that. I mean, but they haven't said. So
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna like bank on it or hold my breath for it. And I'm like, to be honest, like it's hard to beat the way that they were able to work in using so much of the Doctor's history in the 50th.
Mhm.
I don't know that I want them to aim for that as hard. But if you told me like, oh, it's just gonna be Eccleston's Doctor and Whittaker's Doctor for a 60th that leads into like the next Doctor, I'd be like,
Yeah.
yo,
That even like
I'm here.
like
great.
thematically, that would make sense for Russell T Davies. Like
Right,
yeah.
exactly. That's kind of where I'm sitting. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the exact right way where like you could just put whole focus on Eccleston's Doctor being the one who comes back.
yeah, and Eccleston would come back because he's
Because he's been having a great time with the audio series.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's come back around on this.
Run for your life.
And to say like, hey, come back with Davies, who you liked working with, like, all right.
yeah. I'm excited. I think this gets me back into Doctor Who. Honestly, this is the first time I've been excited for Doctor Who in a long time.
It very well could. I'm going to make the effort. I want to give Chibnall's Whittaker's time the chance. I'm very interested in like what Davies will do now. Because the world of Doctor Who is different.
Mhm.
I don't want him to do too hard of a genre shift as far as like
back to where he was.
right. Like
Yeah.
I want him to like merge the tone of what he wants to do with what Doctor Who is
Because you talked about it, his stuff was very much B monster,
right,
movie.
and it's evolved out of that a lot,
Yeah.
and I think that's fine. Like, I don't want you to lose that. Like, we can go back to the B movie stuff, but you got to merge the tone rather than just like hard pivot back.
Yeah.
Also, like very likely we'll still have a female Doctor. I highly doubt we go back to male right away.
I don't think so.
Which is great.
I also wanted to say like Davies, yes. Davies is the only time. Sorry, Davies is the first time where Matt Smith's Doctor really solidified with me, because Matt Smith showed up on the final season of Sarah Jane Adventures, written by Russell T Davies.
Yeah.
And I was having a hard time with Matt Smith's Doctor in the 5th season of Doctor Who, and it was airing concurrently with this. But when he showed up on Sarah Jane, I was like, oh, I really like this Doctor. So like it was like Russell T Davies also got me into Matt Smith. So if he does bring back the other Doctors, seeing Matt Smith again with Davies' voice would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm interested because I feel like Davies has a much more wide playground than ever before.
Yeah.
So what he'll do with that, I'm really curious about.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he can do that he probably couldn't before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Moving on.
Moving on up.
Moving on.
Roald Dahl Story Company. Now, mind you, Netflix is already deep into production with Taika Waititi's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and an adaptation of the Matilda Broadway musical. So they've had a deal with the Roald Dahl company, but now they've just bought it outright.
Money talks.
They bought the entire company, giving them full rights to everything that under their banner. The BFG. That's all I got. No, what was that one on HBO Max? The Witches one.
Witches.
The witches.
The Witches. Yep.
You were right, dude.
Netflix plans to create a unique universe of projects across animated and live action film and TV, publishing, games, immersive experiences, live theater, consumer products, and more.
Okay. Big, massive multimedia thing. Go for it, I guess.
So that's what they're doing.
The dark universe, public candy, and children
Like half
with
these things
psychic
are on
powers.
stage already. What are you going to do in live theater? Like
Matilda eats a Wonka chocolate bar.
Matilda's already a show.
Yeah.
She eats
And they're
chocolate.
making a
Charlie and
movie
the
off of
Chocolate
it.
Factory is already a stage show.
Yeah.
Like I don't
pass.
BFG.
Pass.
I
Pass.
yeah.
Money. It's just this is just a money.
The
money
Witches.
universe.
What else did he do?
he did this other book
Hold
about
on.
these two people who were just ugly people. And
The ugly peoples.
No, I mean like ugly as in not just like outside, but also personality wise. They were horrible people. I forgot what it was called.
The Twilight Zone episode where they wear these masks and then the masks become their face.
The Twits.
The twits.
I think that one. Yeah.
Oh, he should have called it something else if you ask me.
No.
Twits. No, Twits is-
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, I love the Fantastic Mr.
Oh,
Fox.
Never heard
Right,
of
but
it.
you love that movie.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like there. I
Yeah, but
have
what if that-
associations with a lot of these properties. I love them, but like I love versions of them that have been
What
made.
if George
Yeah.
Clooney lived under Taika Waititi's Charlie in a Chocolate Factory? Though, just think about it. Think of the synergy. Think
George
of the
James
money.
and the Giant
not
Peach.
Oh,
James and the Giant
God.
Think of what instead of a peach, it was a Wonka bar.
I love James and Giant Peach is one of my favorite.
What if you
movies.
shoot me in the face?
I don't want to do that.
I might if you keep
It's just
naming
listen.
these
I'm
things.
listen. I you know I'm
There's
all,
one called Boy Tales of Childhood. Jordy's Marvelous Minjin Medicine.
A
Bless
Star
you.
Trek book.
Listen. I like corporate synergy when it's fun and it works.
The
but like,
Magic
This,
Finger.
this is just about money. This
I'll
is
give
just-
you the magic finger. You know what I
Oh,
mean.
no, it's children's.
The Enormous Crocodile.
We have to stop this.
I'll show you my enormous crocodile.
Stop.
What, you don't want to see Billy and the Min Pins?
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What's a min pin?
Dirty Beasts.
Oh, that's a sequel to the.
You're breaking
bad
Brandon
alligator.
right now, Sparks.
Me.
You're breaking him.
Yo, if we kill Brandon, we could sue Roald Dahl.
You mean Netflix and the Roald Dahl
Get
Company?
those- get
Whatever.
that Netflix money. What happened? Your book titles made him laugh himself to death.
The Great Mouse Plot.
Oh, stop. Okay.
Listen, like not everything has to be connected.
No.
I'm just saying.
I think that's my thing is like just some of these things I just don't need another version of as film or TV series or anything. But on top of that is this like
Oh.
absolute adamant desire to
Yeah.
create a connected universe out of it. And I'm like,
Like yeah, like we
I'm
live
fine.
we live in Hollywood where like everything gets another remake or reboot or whatever. I'm just like that's I've accepted that. But like when you want to merge things together that don't just like you don't need to. I don't get it.
Yeah.
This ain't
Yeah.
the Stephen King universe.
This
over
isn't
here.
the Dark
It's true.
Universe.
Real quickly in the comments is the Phil Better Show. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Phil.
Hey.
Does he feel better?
I hope so.
I hope so.
He says, "Love James and the Giant Peach."
Yeah. But Phil, what if instead of a peach, it was a Wonka bar?
No.
James and the Giant Wonka.
Yeah.
James and the Giant Nerds.
Oh.
What if? Okay, so
That's a big.
They
nerd.
slide down nerds ropes.
no. What if instead of like you see that giant shark that just gives you fish heads, it just gives you trash, which
Now-
there are Wonka bars.
I will say like we're all relatively familiar with a bunch of the things we just named. Like Roald Dahl does have a similar tone across the way his stories are. Like even these adaptations have kept some
Like
amount of,
fantasy,
those
like child
those
stuff,
like
yeah.
those connective tissues. So I can see where like yeah, of course these things could all exist in the same universe. I'm like sure, like they can, but they don't need to.
Yeah.
There's no like I don't need Matilda to go visit the Wonka factory.
I mean, if I see
The
a-
BFG with a giant Wonka bar.
if I see or the BFG finding a giant rhino in the sky,
Lord, we have to stop this.
And then
Well-
they'll bring in the Iron Giant.
Well, one.
That's not a Roald Dahl thing.
Friend.
That's just my joke for how
Oh.
the Iron Giant is constantly thrown
Yeah,
into any
they'll just-
conglomeration of IP.
yeah.
They'll
You're
just
right.
do it because like for whatever reason it's in the Iron Giant's contract. I just have to show up in these movies.
He loves cameos.
They're going to retroactively put him into Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
oh god,
They'll just remake that movie and we'll all cry.
Can I not?
Aquaman, and it's going to happen. I just don't want it to.
I don't want it to either. It's like when rumors came out a few years ago saying that Justin Bieber was going to be Marty McFly in a
Hold
remake
on.
of Back
Is-
to the Future.
Did Bob Hoskins pass away? Right.
Yeah.
He's passed away.
I was gonna say you can do like a sequel thing where like he's like an old detective, but
They tried to get a sequel made, but
that sucks.
he retired before they could.
Can't do it anymore. Sorry.
I don't think you'll get a.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the new Aquaman movie, the sequel to Aquaman, has announced some new casting. Yanni Zhao will play Stingray,
Bad boy, bad girl.
who is an original character for the movie.
Ooh,
India Moore will play Karshan,
bless you.
who is normally a Green Lantern villain, who was originally a shark that, after being hit with radiation, gained intelligence and telepathic powers. Think
Makes sense as an Aquaman
Yeah,
villain
it
more
does
than a
make
Green
sense.
Lantern
Yeah,
villain.
yeah, it was always weird when he's a Green Lantern villain because like it showed up in a Green Lantern book, and it's like,
Is this like a '70s pool?
yeah,
Yeah, that's before he went cosmic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is like he just fought a radioactive shark.
Yeah.
It's basically, I always get this character confused with King Shark.
Mhm.
They're not the same character, but they look very similar.
Yeah.
Vincent Regan will play Atlan, the ancient ruler of Atlantis,
Ooh, King Atlan.
who we saw in who we saw hit their bones in the first
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And Randall Park is obviously returning as Dr. Shin.
Ooh,
Great.
So
yo, Black Manta's back. I'm ready for more of that.
Oh hell yeah!
So Stingray is probably working with Black Manta then.
I would have
Probably.
to assume with that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm so
I'm here.
for James Wan and
Oh,
every
yeah.
movie he makes.
Yeah. That's where
Spoilers,
I'm at, too.
spoilers for later.
All right, some comic book news real quick.
Real quick.
Guardians of the Galaxy was canceled prematurely.
Yeah, out of nowhere, just like in the back of the book, it's like, hey, this is the end.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're probably going to relaunch it in some way. I hope.
But Al Ewing stays on.
I don't.
Well, it's just weird with everything like Ewing was that like big image of like Ewing's coming to Sword and here's the Guardian stuff and it's like, hey, he's doing some and then it's like, nah.
I might have a feeling that like Sword and Guardians might become just one book.
Well, Guardians has been suffering with sales.
Yeah.
Like across the board, like a lot of stores have made it a poll only title and
That's
not
so
a shelf
crazy.
only. So I think probably that was part of this decision. But like to do it so suddenly, to not even tell us, and then have at the end of the book being like, say, okay, bye.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, that sucks. I like that book a lot.
Mhm.
I'm not caught up, but I like it.
Mhm.
On IDW's front, we talked about last week that that Marvel is pulling the Marvel Action license from IDW. Now Lucasfilm is pulling the Star Wars All Ages comic book license from
Star
IDW.
Wars Adventures.
Star Wars Adventures. The rumor on the street, and this has not been corroborated,
Did you hear? Did you hear about this?
is that it's because Disney is going to push into the Scholastic Book Fair.
Maybe we should ask our friend Michael Morisi
Oh,
Hot
if
scoops.
he knows anything.
we
Hot scoops.
have a guy on the inside.
we do.
Yo, bud, you know anything about that?
You working on a Scholastic book, my friend?
You doing
Tell
some
me.
Scholastic?
Does it rhyme with Rolastic?
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah.
I hope that I know a lot of people like the Star Wars Adventures lines. I think there have been some really cool, like even though it's aimed at children, I think there are some there's some really good stories.
I've been
in
getting
there.
the Vader Castle.
Yeah, the Vader
ones.
Castle spooky tales, like just like what if scary tales in Star Wars universe are super fun. They
Yeah.
make me like that's what that Lego special is based on. It's based on those,
Yeah.
and those are really really fun and goofy. Like they're the enjoyable side, very much like a What If, which you can hear us talk about the most recent What If episode. It's very much just like a have a good time with a
Yeah.
little side thing.
Yeah.
Morrissey's Clone Wars series. I know he's written more, but his Clone Wars series he did was really good.
I haven't read that one. yet.
So like I hope that there's still an avenue for that kind of, and I know people have liked a lot of the High Republic stuff, having that alternate avenue look at High Republic beyond just what has been out there already.
Right.
I have a feeling that they're just trying to bring everything in house. Like Disney is like the one company that's like good about like absorbing things and then making more things out of it. So like I think they just want to have like the Disney version of this instead of the IDW version.
Yeah, it was always strange. To be fair, like the IDW deal happened early days when Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. So it was Disney's thing, but it always felt weird to me that they did it in general.
We don't
Yeah.
know anything about what this means of trade collections going forward.
That is true. A lot of them might go out of print.
I hope that's not
Money,
the
money,
case. I
money.
hope that they're willing to like.
They're printing legacy stuff. I'm sure they'll print.
I mean,
stuff.
they'll reprint them, but I kind of hope
Yeah.
that they keep them in print and
Yeah.
they're able to find them.
Yeah, because I definitely like. There's a few of those I definitely still want trades of.
Yeah.
that
that-
aren't done.
IDW also, by the way, they put out these really nice Marvel black and white art editions for like old 60s and 70s books. They're awesome to look at. Okay, on Vault, we like Vault Comics. Speaking of Michael Morisi,
I love all comics.
Rewrite Titans is a new Vault comic coming from Trey Dean with art by Sebastian Parise. Sure, Parise. Set in a world where kaiju are a constant threat. To combat this, humanity has developed giant mechs known as Titans, and created crews to pilot them into battle to face the monster menace. Riding a Titan makes you a celebrity, not unlike a Formula One race car driver, but it comes with a price. Kit Hobbs is a member of a Titan piloting family that's been protecting New Hyperion for generations. But despite the prestige of the job, the Hobbs family is falling apart, with her father and her brother both facing their own internal crises. Kit's got plenty to deal with at home, to say nothing of the 20-story creatures she faces at work.
Sounds like you need some family.
Tom Toretto, how'd you get here?
100%. Yeah, I mean, this sounds awesome. Like, yeah, it's just another kaiju mech book, but it's straight up just like, yeah, we're gonna do Fast and the Furious. Like, we're gonna do soapy family drama. amongst the giant monster battles as well. And I'm
Vin
like,
Diesel's gonna get his hands on this and be like,
bro, it's the character.
we're not done.
The character's name's Hobbs. Like, it's got its inspirations on its sleeve. If you look at the cover of the book, like it looks so cool. I'll absolutely buy number 1 of this.
Vin Diesel next week. Vin Diesel in talks to acquire the rights to this book.
Bro,
I don't even think it'd be that. I think he'd just be like, we see the path now. F12 is on the line. Like,
Yeah.
guys,
He's like,
I got an idea.
So we were gonna stop at F10. Not
11.
anymore.
F11.
What
if?
if? He's like, we're gonna stop at F11. Not anymore.
then it's
So-
what if?
So
Fast
it's
12.
so we're right. It's fasten your seatbelt and then Flevin.
We got to workshop that one.
I think Flevin.
Mm,
Keep it super inconsistent.
I just don't like saying it.
Can you imagine if the final movie was just
I hate it.
the last movie?
God,
I think the right way to do it is to not have 11 in there at all.
Just call it the Fast and the Furious again.
Yeah.
Literally, the Fast and the Furious again.
Yes.
The Fast and the Furious rides again.
maybe.
Oh man. Just look, whatever you do, man. I complained about this on the group about the Fantastic Beasts titles. I hate how inconsistent they are, but like, whatever you
That's
want,
part of loving Fast and Furious.
whatever
is
you do,
loving
Fast and
that
Furious,
they're inconsistent
You accept all of
titles.
it.
keep it inconsistent. Do not
Yeah.
do some bullshit with. Do not make a part 1, part 2. Do
Nope.
not do that.
What was this one called? Fast 9?
F9,
It's got to be Furious 10.
F9. No, we already did Furious 10. We already
No,
did Furious 6.
Do part
Oh.
1, part 2, but they're not the same title.
So
Fasten your seatbelts, part
Part
1. The Fast and Furious ride again, part 2.
Oh, that's gonna. Yeah.
That's just gonna make
Yes.
so many people mad.
yes, whatever you do, Fast and Furious, keep it inconsistent. That's what we love.
I love these.
No, just have the last one just be called Need for Speed. Really F with us.
I love.
Or you know, I just had the last one called Burnout. Just F within that way.
I
Oh,
love.
man.
I love. It's just F9 : the Fast Saga, and you're like, when have we ever done the Fast Saga thing? What are we doing?
Because it's not the Fast Saga. That movie is the Fast
Yes.
Saga.
It's a whole saga in
Oh
itself.
god, I just like made up a stupid. It's like Fast and Furious, Burnout, Most Wanted, Paradise.
I see what you did there, Ben.
No, whatever
Gran
it is.
Turismo. Oh,
I like Fasten Your Seatbelt Part 1. The Fast and the Furious rides again. It's gotta be the Fast and the Furious, no Fast and Furious.
Right, yeah. The
Fast and the Furious rides again, Part 2. That is my. If it's not that, I'm gonna go home very disappointed.
It's definitely not. It's gonna be so much later. Than
That would be incredible, though.
Yeah. All right. I think it's Justin Lin. He's
I
back
I
on the
would call
wheel.
that the greatest movie title of all time.
Listen, we're in it to win it. Okay.
What was the title of the 11th Fast and Furious film? The Fast and Furious rides again, Part 2.
Oh, so I can't buy Fast and Furious Rides Again Part 1.
No, it's not called that.
It's called Fasten Your Seatbelts.
Part 1. Yes,
Yes.
Part 1.
Hobbs and Shaw 2 just needs to be called Fast and the Furious 2. Just truly
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts this franchise into
Fast,
a
and,
collision.
Fast and the Furious. Fast and Furious.
Hobbs,
2.
Hobbs 2, Furious, Shaw 2.
Oh god.
All right.
Oh,
what's-
Fast and Furious presents. Fast and Furious presents : 2.
yeah, just 2. What's the next topic?
Hobbs and Shaw Roadkill.
God.
It's gotta be fast. The number 10 :
Yeah. Yeah.
your seatbelts.
My God. Anyway, news.
Nintendo Direct.
Oh,
Yay.
great.
Oh boy.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Yeah, this is a wholly 3D Kirby game, and we haven't gotten a wholly 3D Kirby game in I think ever.
Ever.
Yeah, because the last
Side
time,
scrollers.
yeah, because it's all been even Kirby 64 and the Shattered Shards. That's a 2.5 side scroller.
The shitty shirts.
Hey, that game, I said Shattered Shards.
No, I know you said.
Yeah, he was making fun of the game.
Yeah. The start of this trailer is like it's a post-apocalypse, and then you just see Kirby running around. I'm like, oh,
I actually
All
thought
right.
it was Splatoon.
What
I'm
if-
not gonna lie. I first thought I was like, is this like a thing for Splatoon? Because we know how in like when Splatoon 3 was first announced, it's like Apocalypse Sandstorm and all that crazy shit.
What if Super Mario Odyssey, but Kirby?
Essentially, yeah, and
I'm into
still
it.
really cute as Kirby.
still sucking up dudes? Do
I
what
won't
you gotta
play
do.
it.
He's sucking up dudes.
That's what Kirby does.
Well, sucking down dudes, yeah.
Yeah, he sucks them up.
He sucks them up.
Takes
No,
the
I
powers.
know what he
He-
does. I know it's the phrasing of it.
he
I
can
was
blow
commenting
and
on.
swallow.
Oh God,
Dep-
Ryan.
Listen, Kirby does it. You are putting that on him. These are children's games.
Anyways, we saw some good gameplay. Like we have Sword Kirby, we have the Boomerang, some classic Kirby power ups that we've seen in a multitude of games. I'm really looking forward. The last Kirby game I really played was Kirby Canvas Curse on the DS.
Yeah,
and
I actually think that's the same one.
It's been a long time since I still have a Kirby.
Oh no, there was a yarn one.
Oh, Kirby's crafted
Epic Yarn.
Yeah, Epic Yarn.
That game is so sweet
I
and
heard
so
that
cute.
was really good too.
It's amazing.
Oh,
it's like the most stress-free, beautiful game.
Yeah, because it was Kirby's Crafted Yarn and then
Yoshi's
Woolly World and Yoshi's Crafted World. Okay, God, that's for that.
I'm definitely excited for this movie. Sorry for this game. But I'm more excited about the eventual Kirby game where he's voiced by John Cena.
I mean, in terms of casting, it's not worse than what we got.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move
I
on.
think this looks great. I'm stoked to play this.
Yeah, me too.
There's a new membership plan coming to Switch Online.
All our
dreams. So we've been talking about
Forever.
Yeah. I think I wrote about this in one of my earliest articles for OSG of like, this is what Nintendo needs to do next to like expand.
We've been saying this for forever.
Yeah. So the boys, they did it. The sons of bitches, they finally did it. Nintendo 64 games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online as an extra or as an added tier.
Only
to the
9 so far.
Only 9, but it got better because they said, hey, here are titles that we're planning to release later. And some of those, because it's like Ocarina of Time was the big one. A lot of people were wanting Ocarina of Time. And also Majora's Mask was the first one out of the gate.
Can I say that I'm actually really excited for this?
Yes, you can.
Because Star Fox is on
Star
it. I
Fox
really want to play
64.
Star Fox again.
Yeah, buddy.
You can also just, I think, buy it.
I know, but like my girlfriend has a Switch, so I'm just like, oh, cool, I can do this.
Well, also here's the cool thing. So the news came out. It's like Nintendo 64 games and also Sega Genesis games are coming to the console as well. Both are getting wireless controllers, but they're going to be part of the expansion set, and it's going to be another tier to the thing. So at first I was a little because it's like, hold up, NES and Super Nintendo are for free. How come I have to pay for the Nintendo 64? And then it hit me. It's because they said online play is going to be supported on the N64 titles. So that means Star Fox 64, you and I could play it. I could play Mario Kart 64 online with my friends.
Yeah.
So you know what? You get a pass. And also Nintendo Switch Online.
Let's see how well that runs first before we give them the pass.
But as of right now, I am so happy.
It's funny.
I am so stoked.
Because like we've been asking this for so long, but when finally it's here, we're like, oh, thank you, Daddy. Or I'll see you again in 3 years.
I wanna bring up one comment here. So Phil, the Phil Better Show commented, yes, giant nerds. He's definitely talking about our riff on the James and the Giant Peach, James and the Giant Nerd, but without that context, it just looks like he's calling us giant nerds.
It's true.
Well, we are.
So I think that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else. And also a lot of people, because I talked to a lot of Sega guys, and actually last night for Base Arcade Pause Menu, I interviewed a guy who worked as a Sega tip master in the 90s.
What'd you say?
Did you say a tit master?
What'd you say? Okay.
Tip.
We both heard it. I'm just making sure. Family friendly audience.
Ryan and
there.
I were on that really quick.
Listen, the P and the T are.
TIP.
I got it.
Tips.
Yeah, TIT, got it.
God damn it. I can't talk to you guys about anything anymore. Bloody hell.
Oh, sorry, the tit master. What is it? I don't want to go off on it.
Listen, those were such a scam.
As I was saying, he worked for the Sega hotline, and he was still like, man, we've come a long way because now a Sega Genesis controller is being made by Nintendo and sold with a Nintendo branding on it.
Wow, we have come a long way.
This is a timeline we live in.
It looks like Sega does what Nintendo also does. Am I right, Ben?
Yeah. Full on thing. The console war was over since in 1999. We know. It's like with
The console war just changed.
The second
war never changes.
The second Sega buggered out of the console business and just focused on software, it was done. It was over. So now the fact that we're still able to play older Genesis games, yes, it's on Nintendo console. You're still playing older Genesis games. What's the problem?
I don't think there is a problem.
Exactly, there is.
I
none.
think there's a big problem.
Well, apparently some people are online are bitching and moaning about it. It's like, oh no,
My people.
You guys should have a basement arcade.
All
discussion
I
about it.
care about is that we're gonna start having these games available on the Switch, which is great.
Yep,
I'm ready for it. Even if there's gonna be a small price hike, I'm willing to do that.
Nintendo's their online service is definitely like the worst out of all the companies, but it's also only $20 a year.
Mhm.
So if they bump it up to like $30, $40 a year, that's still nothing. So like
what they added of N64, and also the thing is those N64 titles that they announced, like Mario Kart, Yoshi's Story, Star Fox, and even Mario 64.
There's some duds. There's some duds in there.
There are a few duds, yes. There are a few duds, but
they'll also be adding more and more.
Yeah,
over
they're
time,
adding-
just
they're-
as they have with the.
But
old
the thing
ones.
is, like the plans are like Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, and Banjo Kazooie.
Right.
That's a for sure thing that's going to
Bless you.
happen. Those games, if you were to go to Frankenstein's or any retro
Banjo
game
Kazooie
store,
doesn't like.
I can play
super
that on my
ramp me up
Xbox
because I have that on
360.
my Game
no, I'm
Pass.
talking about if you were to go and buy the original Banjo Kazooie as a cartridge, you know how much that's going to cost you?
No, because I wouldn't buy it.
It's true.
How much?
A
Go
lot.
ahead,
Well,
Oh.
I have it on like 3 different systems. So I'm okay.
If the answer was a lot, I could have gotten that one. Was
Yeah.
there a prize?
What I think is nice is that this is giving access to a lot of things on like a current console
on a Switch that's
that,
portable.
that you don't have access to. Like the only way you can really do Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time is if you're playing it on your 3DS right
Yeah.
now,
Yep.
or you're playing it on your Wii U.
Mhm.
So it's cool that it's coming to Switch. Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm pumped for that. I'm pumped for where
Absolutely.
we can go. I do hope that this doesn't turn into the inevitable when Game Boy games start coming, another price hike.
Yeah.
I honestly
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
if
shocked.
Game Boy, because I was actually thinking, because the rumor was that it was going to be Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games were going to be announced for this Direct. I mean, I'm glad to be blindsided by the N64, and I feel that that Game Boy is coming.
They were never going to
But-
do Game Boy before they did this.
But when
They're
do,
going to go generationally.
yeah, but of course, if they do Game Boy or even Game Boy Advance, it's probably going to be just like regular. It's like, hey, if you have the base one, you're, you're good.
I think Game Boy and Game Boy Color might come with no price hike.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
Game Boy Advance will come
Then
with a
yeah,
price hike.
I just hope this doesn't go, tits up. But, yeah.
Yeah, me either. I hope
I
not.
love this. All right.
I just like saying it. It's
Oh.
nothing against you.
I know, right? Saying tits is nice. It's a flattering word.
Not
I mean, it's
bad.
not a flattering word.
I just liked watching Brandon process the tit for tat joke.
As it washes over me.
What's next on the Nintendo?
Bayonetta 3
Hell.
gameplay
Oh
trailer.
God, yeah.
Announced in 2017. Yeah, finally got some gameplay for
I
it.
never played 2. It was too good.
I haven't played it.
Yeah,
either.
both. Oh, dang.
I played the first one.
Got to get on it. Yeah, they're both great.
Okay.
100%. The thing about this game is the protagonist of this trailer is not Bayonetta herself. It is a character from like the first game that's been aged up. So like it's like a cool alternate. Either it's an alternate world or just like her grown up or something. Because like it's just cool. And like yeah, the game was announced like 4 years ago, and like that OLED Switch is out soon. So I'm a Bayonetta all day long, baby. That's the game where she has guns on her feet and her hair is her clothes and her weapon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you should watch this trailer. It's very
that's cool.
cool.
Okay. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is coming to Switch. The original. not
That's
the
crazy
remake.
that remake that was just announced is coming to the Switch so fast.
I mean, you can tell that this game.
I saw
has
that. I did watch the trailer for this one. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old game.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
what those look like.
yeah,
Games
it's a
have come
20
so far.
But you know what? You can play Knights of the Old Republic on the go,
It's amazing.
and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
It's cool. I'm glad that they're still doing this rollout of the Lucasfilm games onto the Switch.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
a lot of those old games are really cool.
Oh yeah.
oh
It's
yeah,
a good era.
I'm still just stoked I can play episode 1 Pod Racer on my Switch. I love that.
Now
I
this
love doing that.
It's pod racing.
all right, Castlevania Advance Collection.
yeah. This was rumored for a while, and it was actually leaked because I think there was a rating for it in somewhere in Southeast Asia that was like, hey, here's the rating for
That always
these games.
happens.
But it's officially out on PS4 and Nintendo Switch. So if you have the other Castlevania collections, this is a great one. I've heard nothing but good things about the Castlevania Advance games. I'm definitely gonna
This is
be
a-
getting this.
Very good era.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be probably getting this and Requiem on my Switch. So it's like I got some great Castlevania titles to go through,
Love it.
especially Symphony of the Night. I really want to play Symphony of the Night.
That's a classic one.
Well, do you really want to play Metroid Dread?
No.
Hell's freaking yeah, I do.
That's
Who
the
you think you're
next-
talking to here?
That's the next one.
Yeah, we got some more stuff for Metroid Dread. That game comes out on October 8th, which is next week, or like a week and a half from now.
How do dates work?
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
I just cannot wait. Everything I've seen of Metroid Dread, I'm like, give it to me.
Yeah, it's I mean it's everything you want in a proper like Metroid sequel. Like it's a high budget side scrolling like Metroidvania. Like it looks like I'll win. It looks like I'll win.
It looks absolutely gorgeous, and I just cannot wait. I'm like, I really want to find this.
wait.
If I have to go for a standard edition, I will. But I just really want the special edition because that steelbook is gorgeous.
OLED Switch.
Okay. Here we go.
Here we go now.
Here we go.
a couple of years ago, we heard that Illumination was making a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, we did.
Because Universal recently picked up a Nintendo license.
Oh boy. I keep
Um,
doing Mickey Mouse. I don't know why.
well, now we know who the cast is.
Yeah.
Can we
And-
start from best to worst, or just like from the bottom to the top?
I'll do the bottom to the top. Okay, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Okay.
Is going to be replacing James Marsters as Spike. Anybody get that?
Yes. Buffy.
It's
Sure.
Buffy.
Yeah.
No, this guy's playing a character named Spike.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who Spike is. Funny enough,
It might be like one of the enemies.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably an enemy.
Kevin Michael Richardson will play Kamek.
Okay, yeah, he's the wizard.
Mhm.
Fred Armisen will play Cranky Kong.
I'm actually looking forward to Cranky Kong.
Okay.
That sounds funny.
Seth Rogen will play Donkey Kong.
Jesus Christ.
Keegan Michael Key will play Toad.
Okay,
What
that's good casting.
What a movie.
That's good casting for Toad. Can you imagine Keegan Michael Key's voice running around when the princess gets captured and he's just like yelling?
You know what? I'm actually into this one. Jack Black as Bowser.
This is the best
my
best
fa-
casting.
That is
Absolutely.
what got me. This one and another one, I was like, oh hell yeah!
I
I'm
want
in
Jack Black to do more voice work. He doesn't do as much as I think he should.
You should play the game he made, Brutal Legend.
Yeah, he's a good voice actor. He's a good actor anyway, but like his voice is really expressive and
Yeah.
really like animated. I think he's a good
He's also
voice
a
actor.
very talented singer.
Yeah.
He is.
I always wanted him to do a musical. And
You should watch Tenacious D.
No, I have. I mean, like
a
a.
real musical. Yeah.
I mean, not Tenacious D is a real musical. I'm
Yeah.
talking like something more like a Broadway adaptation of something.
Has he not been in like a Pixar Illumination
No.
not saying bullshit?
He's done DreamWorks, but he did Kung Fu Panda.
It's actually kind of shocking he hasn't done anything with Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
because he did Kung Fu Panda.
In Kung Fu Panda, that trilogy is awesome.
It is.
Anya Taylor-Joy will play Princess Peach.
Sure.
Charlie Day will play Luigi,
I love Charlie Day. It's fine. It's fine for Luigi.
and Charles Martinet is reprising his role as Mario.
That's crazy. You know, in terms of Hollywood casting, it's really bold of them to actually just pick a voice actor who's done the role for so long and gets the character, knows the character. He was there. Like
Yeah,
it's just
Well, it's just like
I'm
the
really-
Sonic the Hedgehog argument again.
it's just really exciting.
I think there's a big real quick up front. Like I do think there's a difference in like Sonic the Hedgehog's voice actor being replaced when Sonic like talks a bunch in his and like
Yes.
Mario and the others make sounds and they don't always talk.
I'm
very
just
much.
joking with that one.
No,
Yeah.
I get you, but I mean like I do think that that's a fair like rebuttal of what I've seen going on Twitter.
Yeah.
I also think it's fair to be like, wow, it really sucks that we have to give like people who don't fit these roles at all because they're big A-list celebrities the roles rather than like actual voice actors. And that's the part where I go, oh, yeah.
Well, it is. You'll be happy to know it is actually voice actor extraordinaire Chris Pratt.
Hell yeah, my favorite. So like, okay, so this
Chris
bum-
Pratt.
this bums
Yeah.
this bummed a lot of people out. Not really just because he's playing Mario. It's the fact that like when you look at this cast and you look at the type of movie it is, it's like
It's a parody.
this is not going to be a good Mario movie. This
It's
is
gonna
going to
be a
be some
parody of
bullshit
Mario.
where like Mario's dad is Italian and it's Chris Pratt just being Mario and like, oh, I can't be Italian. It's going to be some bullshit. Listen, I do not like most of Illumination's movies. I know there's some fine ones. I think they're the lowest production company out of all the ones that release big movies. I don't like most of their movies. I find them to be very bad most of the time, in my opinion. So the fact that they're going to make the biggest video game character of all time and Chris Pratt is the lead, I have no faith in this movie whatsoever.
So here's the thing. I don't think I've seen a more miscast thing
Yeah.
ever. Chris Pratt posted a video where he's like, "We've been working on the voice, and I'm really excited because there's a dream role." And like, that's fine, but you don't
What-
fit the character.
What voice? Okay, he's not doing an Italian voice because he just. What voice would he be? What voice is he?
He'd be looking to mimic Charles Martinet. Which,
Yeah.
in that case, just get Charles Martinet.
I
I don't think he is.
I just.
That's the thing. Is like I don't think he's going to be mimicking Charles Martinet. Like I don't know what it's going to be.
I think I think Mario's just gonna he's just gonna sound like a white dude because Charlie Day is also Luigi and that's just another white dude. And I'm not saying you need to like cast Italians to play the fictional Mario. I'm not saying that, but just Chris Pratt just sets a precedent for this movie. Like, wow, they really just don't give a shit. He's a big name, and I'm just like, it fits the bill.
The thing,
like,
the thing that bugs me about this is, and I've mentioned before, I don't share Ryan's opinion of Illumination. I only like their Seuss films. Not crazy about Despicable Me, but I do like Courtney's a Who and The Grinch and whatever. But the thing is, We do not live in an age where star power sells a movie. We are in an age where brand sells a movie. So you don't need to rely on star power when it comes to voice acting right now.
Yeah.
You really don't. You can have Mario, which is one of the biggest brands in the world, and you can have it actually cast voice actors. Nobody's going to look at that and go, "Oh, I would have seen that if you cast Chris Pratt." People would go see it because it's Mario.
The movie that we're talking about, Malignant, the villain is a voice actor from anime.
Oh yeah.
He is in My Hero Academia. He's in a bunch of stuff, and like he's got a great voice. I'm like, they can do it. And again, it's just like from the base of this movie being made, they don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people making it care. That's what I'm saying. But
this
feels like just money. This feels like a money.
Right.
movie.
It's all studio driven. The optics of like you still think you need those big name stars. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't. You're right. It's not about the audience coming in. It is about the discussion. Because what are we doing?
We're talking about it.
What has
That's
everybody been doing
fair.
all week? They're
That's
talking about
fair.
the fact that Chris Pratt is playing Mario. Doesn't matter if we're talking about the fact that we don't like it
This is
or that we do
also-
like it. We're talking about
This
it.
is also, again, like he's been Mario like secretly for like 3 years. So 3 years ago, I had a different opinion on Chris Pratt than I do now.
Yeah.
He was still like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Avengers mode. So I'm like, 3 years ago, this might have made more sense, but now I'm just like,
I
this
don't
feels-
think it would.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Chris Pratt
doesn't fit the voice.
doesn't
Yeah.
fit the voice. It doesn't matter if Chris Pratt was a hot star
No, yeah.
at the time. No matter what, I would have looked at this.
So
So
the thing
that's
is-
weird.
Hold up. Out of all of the entire casting news, the one voice actor would maybe go, really? Was Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And he's the title character. The movie's gonna be called Super Mario. And I'm like, I don't feel Chris Pratt should be Mario.
It's just,
And with Charlie Day and Anya Taylor-Joy and Jack Black and everyone else, I'm like, okay, I can actually see that.
What's a
that
huge
sounds
bummer-
like that might sound like a fun time for me.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of these voice actors. I like Charlie Day. I like Keegan-Michael Key. And I feel like, you know what? If you put Anya Taylor-Joy IRL in a pink dress and a crown, she looks like Princess Peach.
That's not the point.
That's not-
I know
And-
that's not the point, but still, it's like I can see it.
So my thing is like Keegan Michael Key and Jack Black and Seth Rogen. I can all three of them. I can kind of go, all right. They all do voice acting stuff.
Yeah.
A ton. And I'm like, yeah, I know they can like do something with it for sure. I don't know if I agree with like what the casting of them implies the movie will be. Because again, like it's just going to be a comedic parody of
Yeah.
Mario. It's not going to
and
be
I
Mario.
have seen people defend him going, oh, but he was really good in the Lego movie. He's just being Chris Pratt.
He's not putting on a voice in that.
He's
movie.
not-
That's
yeah,
just
he's-
Chris
It's
Pratt.
his voice.
He's just doing the Ryan Reynolds, and like that's not a knock against Ryan Reynolds, but he does himself very well. And like Chris Pratt is like
He wasn't bad in Onward. I'll give him
no,
Onward.
sure, but like
But he's not
Chris
putting on
Pratt,
affectation. That's
yeah,
Mario,
Chris
sure.
Pratt's thing doesn't work anymore like it used to. Not like Ryan Reynolds still can do it for me. Like Chris Pratt has to do other things for me to really like.
Well, and again, like it just is like the point I wanted to make with that is I want people who like are proven in voice acting to be able to get these kind of jobs rather than it just being tossed to like people like Charlie Day. No offense.
No, yeah.
When it's like, why? It doesn't
Also in
even-
the Lego movie,
doesn't even make sense that Charlie Day and Chris Pratt should have these roles.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Anya Taylor-Joy, I won't barrage too much because I'm like, everybody starts with voice acting somewhere.
Yeah.
And so like, fine.
And she was
Um,
hot 3 years ago. Yeah.
But again, like the implication of the casting, I don't know that I care about what this movie will be
100%.
because I'm like, I mean, it'll probably be funny, honestly. Like Jack Black as Bowser and Donkey Kong as Seth Rogen. I'm sure there's going to be good jokes. I'm sure. I just don't know if that's really the Mario movie I wanted to see. But at the same time,
It's-
at least it's animated.
The thing
Yeah.
that's so crazy to me is like after the first Super Mario Brothers movie came out, in the 80s, it was so bad and it was so like not well received that like Nintendo's like, we're not going to make any more movies. We're done with. We're not doing this to our brand. And I feel like they're just doing the exact same thing. Like, if you really care about this, like, you need to be hands-on 100%. Like, and I know Miyamoto or whatever is like, hey, like, I believe in Chris Pratt. He's so funny and cool. And I'm like, yo, somebody just wrote that. You don't believe that.
No,
Come on.
You know what? I would honestly believe that someone like him would be like, yeah, to make an American movie, we need an American star, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he
That's
does
awful.
come from that generation.
Yeah.
Well, and also like
That's true.
movie making is not their forte. So I understand why they'd be like, no, I trust your methods. I more blame like the studio's idea of what they think Mario should be. Like,
Yeah.
there's no world where I go, yeah, Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know we've been kind of like,
It's like recasting the Muppets.
yeah, I know we've been kind of like, well, not kind of like very like on the casting of this movie, but at the same time, I'm still kind of excited for it because I want to see a trailer, mostly because I'm excited to hear Jack Black be Bowser.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
like that's the biggest saving grace for me is
I'll watch
Jack
the YouTube
Black.
compilation.
the thing that I keep constantly thinking of when I think of this cast playing these characters is that it sounds like a Robot Chicken sketch.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. That's
Like,
that's a
and
really
that's
good point.
fine, I guess. I just don't know if I want a whole movie of that.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a bummer. It's a bummer.
I
Sorry.
think well, I think
Good
I think
one.
part of the whole thing is like these are characters that don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
So it's already
Yeah,
like
like-
kind of a challenge. And like when they do, it's all word bubbles that
It's-
you're reading.
or-
It's not
Or even when they do talk, it's let's go or Mario. It's
well, that's
just,
what I
it's
mean. Like
little
we only get
snippets.
but when they have like dialogue for story stuff,
Yeah.
it's word bubbles.
Yeah,
They're
'cause-
not reading it.
Yeah.
So like it's going to feel weird no matter what.
Or
to have
even
these
the
characters talk
or
this
even the
much.
characters that do have dialogue, it's not even Mario or Luigi. It's like Toads or it's
You-
Toads or Bowser Jr.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Christopher Robin.
Mhm.
You know, Christopher Robin doesn't recast Pooh.
Right.
It's still Jim Cummings.
Sure.
So I looked who's
Why
direct-
wouldn't it be? Anyway.
I looked up who's directing this movie, and it's two people. And these two people worked on Teen Titans Go, the movie and the show. So if the tone's like that, sure. But also again, like I just don't know if that's
parody.
that's yeah. They might be the right people for the job, but I just don't
might.
know if like again for me like Illumination is like the company I want making this
But
movie.
they went into this movie thinking that they were going to do a parody of Mario,
Well,
and not a true Mario.
And
movie.
you've got the perfect example right there with what you said with Christopher Robin, because that was where they had Chris O'Dowd playing Tigger, and then they were like, that didn't work. Guess it's Jim Cummings. We should probably just let it be Jim Cummings.
yeah.
Nice
Because he always does it anyway. And I'm like, at what point do you go, guess it shouldn't be Chris Pratt? Well, we got Charles Martinet. Maybe it should just be Charles Martinet.
Yes, exactly that.
And we have talked about this for a long time, but I think it is like when this type of thing happens, like, okay, this is like arguably like the biggest video game character of all time, and he's getting a movie. We can't just allow it to be bad, because then the precedent for the rest of them are going to be just as bad. We have to say like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea.
This is why Marvel started with Iron Man and not Captain America.
100%. There you go.
Now, I also think it would be hard to get through an entire movie with Charles Martinet playing Mario and having a bunch of dialogue where he's doing the "It's a me"
Oh, sure.
Italian, like fake
100%.
Italian. I'd be like, all right, that's a little rough too. I don't know that that's the right way to go about it, but Chris Pratt as Mario doesn't feel like the
It's
right
definitely,
solution.
honestly, it's mostly the Chris Pratt casting.
I honestly think, you know, you look at like Sonic. Like, okay, yeah, they recast the Sonic voice actor, but honestly, Ben Schwartz is a voice actor,
I think he's good.
and he's good in the role.
Yeah.
He is.
But his voice matches the character.
He also like loves that character, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that voice matches that character. Chris Pratt doesn't match Mario, not at all.
I can't. I'm
it
so.
doesn't work.
I'm calling it right now, you guys. Mario's dad is going to be Italian, and he's like, Dad.
That'll be Charles Martinet.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because it did say Charles Martinet's gonna have like a bunch of cameo roles throughout the movie.
I'm sure.
I hope.
mean,
God,
Mark
I
Hamill
pray
is in every Star Wars
I
movie, even if
pray
Luke isn't.
that Charles Martinet, because there's a tweet go around that like Chris Pratt got paid more for this movie than Charles Martinet's got paid for his entire life being Mario, and I'm like, I 100% believe that, and that breaks my effing heart. Breaks my heart. That's decades.
That does. And if you follow, I follow Charles Martinet on Twitter and on Instagram, and he is an absolute treasure.
You know,
of
he makes
human-
TikToks with like the
Well,
little
'cause
Mario.
He's an
figures.
absolute treasure.
Because that's the shitty thing about it is like it's a A-list celebrity actor who already makes a ton of money coming in and getting, honestly, reaping off the benefits of profiting off the work of someone else who got paid less to make it.
and then not even
And
like
he's just stepping into
yeah.
the role
Yeah.
of someone like that's where it gets like, because that was my whole argument when the Sonic thing happened. Like I like Ben Schwartz, but like my thing was there's a person who's been voicing Sonic the Hedgehog who for all accounts should be able to continue to voice Sonic the Hedgehog for the movie and make the money off of it.
Yeah.
And like that's the shitty thing is where those voice actors get slide just
And
to the side because
yes.
Ben Schwartz is more famous.
but also but
He might not be an A-list, but he's more recognizable.
but all to that point, like Ben Schwartz is not a Chris Pratt.
No, for sure.
So like I feel like this is even still just a worse scenario.
No, it is.
Like-
It is. But like that was my thing when
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, you know, there's a person who's there embodying the character all this time, and someone else is coming in and getting the big fat blockbuster paycheck
True.
for things that they've been doing this whole time.
You know, it
And
kinda-
that's where it gets weird.
it kind of reminds me of Detective Pikachu, how we talked about Ryan Reynolds being Detective Pikachu. You know, but at the end of the day, Ryan Reynolds doesn't do the Pika Pika part. He does an imagined voice in Justin Smith's head.
Yeah.
Right.
The Pika Pika part is still the girl who's been doing it for decades.
Right.
Yep.
That's wild. I love that. Yeah.
So you do that.
Right.
It's not hard, guys.
Man,
Also, honestly, I'm sorry to say, but it would have been cheaper.
yeah,
I mean,
like honestly, I think most of the no offense to Elimination, but like I feel like almost all of the budget of this movie went to this casting. Like this is such an expensive cast. Like this is like $100 million of just casting these people right here. I'm like,
not
geez
just that,
Louise.
guys. We're getting a Sonic the Hedgehog movie and a Mario movie in the same year.
I'm more excited for the Sonic movie.
I am too, 100%.
I'm also more excited for Sonic the Hedgehog. Idris Elba as Knuckles for crying out loud.
Someone pointed this out. I was like, this is the opposite reaction of Idris Elba as Knuckles.
100%. That's the karma. That's the karma we get.
God, because when Idris Elba was announced as Knuckles, every single one of us was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. I obviously hope for the best, but like,
Let's get off of this.
Yeah.
Let's get off of
let's get
Yoshi.
off of that.
Because real quickly, Mag does say, I'm sorry we ragged on it so long, Mag. Mag says, still can't wait.
I'm glad.
I'm
Look,
glad. I'm happy for you.
I'm curious to see the trailer. It's hard for me to picture a movie that isn't just kind of like constant joke and parody, and I'm not sure that's the Mario movie I want to see.
I agree. I will always go back to the Lego movie, where I definitely ragged on that movie before it came out, and that movie is a triumph.
Yeah.
I don't believe that can happen in the current situation that it's in, but you know what? Wilder things have happened.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. TUDUM.
Dun dun.
The Netflix event also happened this week.
Hashtag.
This was a big event where Netflix released a ton of stuff. Just interviews and things, but a lot of first looks, and we're going to be talking about the first looks. Stranger Things season 4 had its first trailer. Its first proper trailer.
It felt just like a Conjuring movie for a second.
It did.
It did
didn't
actually.
It?
Not really Stranger Things, but like whatever. Okay.
It's like you got
something happened to a family and they're looking into it.
Investigating.
Yeah.
Those kids are getting older and older every day. Oh my god.
Holy crap, they are.
That's how age works.
No, I know, but like when you wait years to film your
Yeah.
But then you think about when you first saw Stranger Things, and you're like, wait, that was how long ago?
5 years ago, Ben.
Oh.
Yep.
Where do you think this is?
Russia.
America.
No, I just mean like this isn't in the same town.
I think
No, it's not. I don't think it's in
Hawkins.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
I think they're in Russia.
I think they're wherever Bill.
You think they're in Russia?
What's his name? Bill.
Who?
Bill.
Bill,
The
Bill?
kid who was missing in the
Byers?
first scene. The first
Will
season.
Byers.
Will?
Will. Bill. Will is. I think that's wherever he moved to. The town that he moved to. And they're
Oh,
visiting.
like,
yeah.
But it's weird that like all of them go there.
No, they're visiting.
I guess.
This trailer, it was kind of just like, hey, here's a scene of us being spooky in a house. Like I don't really know what's going on yet.
Yeah.
Just like a
We're
tease.
probably gonna get more.
I'm interested in the fact that they're investigating something that happened a long time ago. That's kind of all I can get gleaned
Yeah.
from this.
Well, we're definitely gonna get another trailer, and we're gonna.
And they
see
look
more.
old.
Yeah. Except for the guy playing Steve, Joe.
Well, because
Keery,
he's
right?
like 30.
I'm always happy to see Steve back.
Yeah.
He's great. He's
Still
the
has some beautiful hair.
best Dead by Daylight character.
The Sandman released basically a scene from the first episode.
Yeah, like the first couple pages of the comic. It's a tone piece. It doesn't really show a lot, but it's like, hey, we're trying to summon like a primordial force of the universe, and we got the wrong one.
It's a true first look. I'm glad that they labeled these things as first looks because that is what they are.
Yeah.
They're just teasers, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really stoked for the Sandman TV series. I know Neil Gaiman is really excited it's finally happening.
This is definitely one of those comics that is very, very like wild and weird, and like only like it's one of the most like unadaptable things out there. So like
they've been trying for years.
yeah, I know Joseph
Much
Gordon-Levitt.
like Why the Last Man.
Much like Why the Last Man. But Why the Last Man is so much more like easy to do.
Oh yeah.
Just like it. I'm so fascinated to see how big the budget is for the show, because like they need a big budget to really pull off some of the stuff they're doing. And from what I've seen from like the first like they got a big budget for the big swirly thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
League of Legends Arcane.
Man,
This looks gorgeous.
I really like the animation.
yeah. It looks
Why
really
does this
pretty.
look so goddamn good?
They put money behind it.
They did.
It's super weird.
I wish faces and people look like this in what
and
if.
whatever.
Yeah.
Got that
That's a good
Netflix
point.
money.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. It kind of reminds me of the first time we saw the Clone Wars. Like you got that those are the characters that you were looking at, even though they
Sure.
were kind of more blocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
No, I get you.
Yeah, really good art style. Again, this is based off League of Legends, a multiplayer-centric game that doesn't really have. It has a narrative, but it's not really what's about. And it's like this and Dota, man. Like Netflix has
Dota's good.
Are there books of League of Legends?
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty
lore
sure there's.
books?
they're probably.
I'm 99% sure there's league books that
Probably.
explain the lore.
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
go.
know.
Not for me.
I really liked Dota, so I'm kind of like thinking like I think I can get into this one too.
I will watch
Yeah.
this because of the animation.
Yeah.
honestly.
I-
Like if the story sells me from there, great. But like the animation's what's bringing me.
Yeah, definitely unique for what Netflix puts out.
Ryan,
Hey, what's up?
you recently got into a TV show called Vikings.
I mean, recently, as in the pandemic a year ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Vikings Valhalla. It's coming to Netflix.
Yeah, it's about Leif Erikson, who is it's like I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they kind of fudge stuff, but I think it's like 100 years after the Ragnar Ragnarsson stuff happened. So it's like it's 100 years later, and like they go to England, like, hey, is the Viking stuff that I heard about in legend still true? Is the family stuff still true? And it's about him like learning about his heritage and all that stuff. And I'm like, the Vikings are cool as shit. I'll watch it.
Do you think they're gonna show Leif Erikson coming to North America, or?
Ooh, that might be like a
Depends on how long the
two.
show goes.
Yeah, it's like a season thing.
Because if my Viking history is not that good, but it was Leif Erikson who like first technically discovered the continent of North America.
You know what? I am in the Ragnar Ragnarsson era, so like Leif, I gotta read some more history
Because I
before
know it was the Vikings who first came to North America.
Yeah.
There was real quickly, there's a Norse scholar, a Norse mythology scholar, who's been doing IGN videos talking about the God of War Ragnarok and God of War. It's really cool. I recommend it.
Do we know if this is a limited series or if this is like first season of a continuous show?
It sounds like it's the first season.
Okay.
They hope to get more.
Let's hope.
Because then I would suspect that
Ben, you are
yes, it
right.
will end up at North America.
He is thought to have been the first European to set foot on North America.
Sweet.
Good for him.
Yay.
Take that, Chris.
I doubt that happens in this first season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a full show.
Yeah, I doubt that too. But still, that'd be cool if we actually get to him traveling to North America.
I assume it'll be the same like quote unquote kind of like a path that Ragnar. He starts in one place and then he builds his army, and so Leif will do that here and probably go to America.
Yeah,
at the
that's
end.
so. All right, really, really quick fun fact. That's why a lot of Norse because it's believed that Leif Erikson went to the area now of Minnesota. That's one of the reasons why the football team there is called the Minnesota Vikings.
I learned something today. Thank you, Ben.
Oh, look at that.
'Cause
We
there's
all
a-
learned
there's-
something today.
And also, there are a lot of people from like Scandinavia settled in that part of Minnesota, in that part of the United
A
States.
lot of blondes there.
Get them off my land.
Oh,
All right. This is probably my favorite thing that happened at TUDUM. The Cowboy Bebop opening credits were released.
Holy shit!
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
I mean, like there was no other way to do it.
No, there really wasn't. I had anticipated a trailer, but I was very happy with this.
I'm fine. I'm okay with this.
This is all you need.
Yeah.
It's Cowboy Bebop.
The show's not coming out until November, so they don't release trailers very far in advance. Netflix does, so we won't get like a proper trailer until probably middle of next month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't care if that show's bad. I got this. I got like the music's there. Like the music's gonna be like throughout the show too. But like
It looks the way they animated everything looks so good. It definitely made a successful transition to live action. And they also mentioned this week, they also had a quote that I loved where they were just like, we're not adapting the show scene for scene because like that would leave audiences hungry for something they already have. So we're taking a different approach, and we're doing something new.
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. I'm very excited for the show based on what I saw with this and what I heard from them. I'm so excited.
I just love how John Cho looks exactly like Spike.
looks good.
It's like the hair, the jacket, and everything. It's like you are a spitting image of Spike Spiegel. Holy crap!
Right.
Very happy for him.
I have seen some detractors because there's a thing like why if you're just gonna remake the show, then just rewatch the show, and like they are not just remaking it. But I think like for something like the opening title sequence, like you pay homage to the thing that it's based off of. Like
You
I don't think that's not a problem.
That
I'd be mad
it's
if
not
you
just
didn't.
it's not just that it's a good opening credit sequence. It's one of the most iconic opening
Yes.
credit
Yeah.
sequence in anime.
Truly.
It's like,
Like,
you have this.
people, other
Evangelion.
anime have referenced it. Other cartoons, American cartoons, reference this opening credit sequence. Like you couldn't do it any other way.
Yeah.
It's iconic, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the show. There was the girl who plays Faye. She's from last I saw her, I think it was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. She plays the vet, the dino vet.
Oh,
I'm really happy I get to see her in something potentially good because I liked her in that
Yeah.
movie, but that movie's bad, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
also they're probably gonna do it because it's like with the opening credits. It's an homage to the original anime. They're probably gonna end every episode with "See you, Space Cowboy."
I'd have to assume.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Like it has to be
And
there.
I love John Cho. I'm excited.
Yeah.
He got this show would have been out by now, but he got injured, and there
Yeah.
was also a pandemic.
Yeah.
So I'm it's crazy that it's finally here. I know we've been talking about it for so long.
I was scared it wasn't going to happen for a bit. I thought it was maybe gotten canceled and then swept under the rug. It's like, no, we're still doing Cowboy Bebop. It's
Spent
just like
too much money.
it's
on
like
the show.
yeah, because A, John got hurt, and then B, the pandemic. So it's like, no, we're still doing it. Just you gotta be a little bit more patient, but it's happening.
I'm ready
we
to
promise.
watch that anime.
I
I need to
almost-
watch that.
I was gonna, because Zara hasn't seen it, and we'll watch the trailer, and she's like, "This is cool." Let's go. Do you want to watch the anime with me? Because I really want to see it again before I watch this.
I'm in the same place with Megan. She hasn't watched anything from this
Let's
one,
do
but I'm like, it's coming, and we're gonna watch it.
Let's
so,
do it,
like,
and then
do you
do
want to watch
a-
the anime?
Animation Station on it.
I'm actually reversed. Fanny's seen the anime, and I haven't. So now I'm gonna be like, so I need to watch Cowboy Bebop. She's like, Cowboy Bebop, and we're
Oh.
probably gonna watch
then-
Cowboy Bebop.
You haven't watched?
Why are you so
Wow.
excited? I
Watch
thought you
the
watched
show?
it.
I saw the movie.
That's
Oh.
weird.
Like the anime. It
No, I
was
get
on a date with
You know,
one of my
I
girlfriends
haven't-
in
you know what? I haven't
whatchamacallit.
seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie either.
Yeah,
I've only seen the show.
I've seen both.
I've only seen the show.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it
Cool.
is.
Okay.
Shows really good. The movie's
hell yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Um,
dun, dun.
You
Alright.
don't know shit.
I liked the movie.
You don't know shit.
I've seen a few
This
episodes.
is
of
honestly,
Cowboy
this is
Bebop.
honestly such a the kind of shock that happened when he said he hadn't seen all of Dragon Ball. He hadn't seen all of Dragon Ball Z, only all of Dragon Ball Abridged. And I was like, oh, what are you even referencing?
Jokes
Anyway.
about it.
Oh, okay. And Inside Job, a new adult animated show coming to Netflix.
Yes. This reminds me so much of Control, but if instead of everyone being like good at the job, they were all idiots.
This
Hmm.
actually gave me more Lower Decks vibes.
Yeah. Well, I
Like,
mean, this is
it's a Rick and Morty.
it's
clone.
an adult animated show coming out in the 21st century, so it looks like every other thing. The thing
Yeah.
is, like, I think some of the jokes landed better, and it is like super weird and like about like government secrets and shit. So
like the air quotes, the deep state, and all the conspiracy theories. I like how the company is called Cognito.
yeah.
Honestly, I thought there's a lot of the stuff that looks funny. The wake up sheeple bit did get me.
Yes. With
Where
actual
it's
sheep
actually-
people. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like sheep people hybrids, and then you got Yale. Then underneath, it's like the real Yale University, which is like a
Of
devil worship.
of all the trailers that we watched, because a lot of these shows are coming out that have this kind of style to it. This definitely is one of the better ones for me, I think.
You go into the chamber with Elvis and all the people who are people claim to still be alive, or
Yeah.
they're just cryogenically frozen.
David
Paget
Bowie.
Brewster is the lead. She's got a great
Oh.
voice.
I can't get a read on what the politics are going to be in it,
Mhm.
and that leaves me like, I don't know. Maybe it won't be for me. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
I feel that.
because it has to be a politically charged show on some level. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I can't tell if this is on my end or on the other end. And if it's not on my end, I don't know that I want to watch
Now,
it.
during the trailer, I could have sworn there's like a bunch of writing that if you pause at the right time, you could like read it all, kind of like that one scene in Love, Death, and Robots, where it's a blue screen where it's like, is this a bunch of text?
Okay.
I kind of want to see what that says, because it might give a little more insight into what
I
the
know,
show's
see
going to
that.
be.
Secrets in secrets.
All right, so we'll check that one out probably when it comes out, or shortly.
I
after.
probably won't watch it when it comes out. Too much stuff.
The Witcher had a thing. The Witcher season 2 is coming in December, I believe. And they released the first trailer, 2 clips also.
Wow.
Which I watched. The trailer doesn't show a whole lot. We do get glimpses of the next season where our characters look in the next season, but it's mostly footage of season 1, which is disappointing. Just kind of be like, hey, remember Witcher?
I do.
We
I do.
I'm just-
throw
Yeah.
throw a doubloon to your Witcher.
Throw you the bloom to your
Yep.
master.
That's how it goes, right?
That's it. You nailed it.
I know Witcher.
But there was some news, such as it has been renewed for a 3rd season.
Sweet.
I'm excited, and there is going to be a new animated film, so a second animated film, and a kids and family series. It's weird, from the world of The Witcher.
Now, okay, so immediately my mind says like this is weird. The Witcher's very like mature and like super sexy. But then I'm like, what if it's something like Wayne Family Adventures, where it is the Witcher family just having a good old time being mutants? And I'm like, that's so weird. But like, if it is totally 100% different than The Witcher, I could see it working just by being so weird. Otherwise, like I cannot see this working.
It is
Yeah.
a strange decision, because you kind of look at like who at Netflix said let's do that, and someone else said okay.
Yeah, what if we take
Yeah.
this guy who just like loves to kill and bang, but we made that for like 8-year-olds?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's about like the monster route and have like fun with like cool animated monsters, sure, but like
It's just I would
there's
never.
other properties for that.
I am not. I if I were the creator of the Witcher TV series, or if I was involved in the Witcher TV series, I don't think at all a thought would come into my head of like, what if this was kid friendly?
Yeah, I'm
Netflix wants to compete with Disney Plus.
yeah, they do.
in the weirdest ways.
I'm trying to think of a way that maybe a air quotes here kid-friendly Witcher show might work, and
I'm sure the pitch was like great.
I assume so, because otherwise this probably wouldn't have been made, and I can't really think of anything. But
I mean, it honestly could just be what The Witcher is, but just incredibly toned down, which to me is just it's just traditional boring fantasy.
Oh my god, I want Chibi Witcher.
I did see a tweet that's like, if it's like Chibi Witcher, then like that's what I mean. If you go 100% in the opposite direction, that's what I'm talking
Just
about.
like Tiny Child Witcher.
like if it's Chibi Witcher and they're there to make fun of throw some jokes and have a good time, then you know what? I'm okay with it, because
Teen Titans Go, but with The Witcher, yes.
Or it's like when sometimes you read manga, the creators like make these little chibi strips in the back of the book where there's like funny jokes. If it's stuff like that, I'm all for it.
We also know that there is a new Witcher spin-off, a limited series coming called The Witcher Blood Origin. This is going to be a live-action limited TV series.
Ooh.
We've heard about this coming for a while, but we now know what it's about. And it's going to be about the events that led to the merging of the worlds of monsters and men, which is called the Conjunction, the Conjunction of Spheres. And it's going to be about that and the creation of the first prototype Witcher.
Nice. So more prequel stuff. All right.
This is apparently, we're talking about it like we're building lore from before even the books.
Yeah. So, man, they're going super, super hard on The Witcher, which is cool. It's like one of the like Netflix's like biggest franchises. So like, if it all works, sure.
It was one of my favorite shows from the other year. From the year it came out. So
it was definitely one of my favorite shows in 2019. That's when it came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I binged watched that show with my mom for Christmas.
I was
really
Fanny and I were constantly watching.
Yeah, so more Witcher is fine by me if it's all good.
It's a whole lot. I just that family one's so weird.
All right, Super Crooks.
Looks neat.
This is the anime Super Crooks, not the live action spinoff of Jupiter's Legacy, the now defunct Jupiter's Legacy. This has been in development for a while. This is coming from the people who did My Hero Academia.
Animation looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
I like how the guy's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be a good citizen," and immediately tries to steal something.
I really like the action sequences. They're really cool.
Yeah.
The fights. It comes from the same studio that did My Hero, and the fight scenes in My Hero are gorgeous. So it's like par for the course. I mean that in a good way. It looks good.
Mr. Anime.
I think the animation visuals look good. There's nothing like drawing me into the story. I'm like,
I have other superhero shows, honestly.
Exactly. I'm like, if I'm gonna watch a superhero anime right now, it's My Hero Academia. So I don't know.
Me too.
Like, I need to know more about like why I should watch this besides the animation.
I did have a thought, like even though I liked this trailer, I was into it, but like I kind of sat there going like, Jupiter's Legacy is really bad, and I know it's like it can't be comparable, but for whatever reason, all of a sudden, like now the Mark Millar brand has been tainted.
It's
on
not
Netflix.
so it's not connected to Jupiter Legacy, but it's still based off a Mark Millar comic.
Yeah.
So like,
like it was made before that, and it's like made by a Japanese studio, so like they could be going wildly away from whatever his premise of setup is.
I hope so.
I just don't really know what that is. So I'm not sure if it's something I want to watch yet.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be more appealing to me than the live action Mark Millar one.
Probably. Yeah. Hellbound, from the director of Train to Busan,
and it's starring the lead actor from Train to Busan too.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey man, it's what if Death Note, but instead of an evil demon guy, you just big stone ghost monsters coming.
They just come and find at a certain time of day. They find a person.
They tell you when, which is messed up. Because anyone who like has lived that moment where you have the deadline and you've got only an hour, and you're like, well, what do I do for?
You just stare at the phone,
and you just kind of like do nothing.
So like these big monsters come and they steal your soul. But like they'll chase you down and
it's
it's
about to get a soul sucked.
Like if you run and you don't, because it's like the guy's like running because he's like, I don't want to die, I don't want to go to hell. It's like, too bad, you're going to hell, bud.
It's a series. I wonder if it's gonna be like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ooh,
we'll see.
I don't know why that immediately be like, ooh, like he's got to figure out stuff.
Isn't there a live action Yu Yu Hakusho series that Netflix is doing?
That was announced.
That they're doing. Yes.
We talked about that a while ago.
I forgot about that.
Somebody's doing it. I can't remember if it's probably Netflix, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
This looks interesting. I want to know more.
Yeah. This is again like a first look.
Yeah.
Okay. Trailers.
Trailer Park.
Attack of the Hollywood Cliches.
I am really liking these.
I think this looks really fun.
Yeah, I'm liking these type of documentaries. Like The Toys That Made Us was a good one. Yep. I haven't seen them yet, but
History of Curse Words is awesome.
Yeah, History of Swear Words, and also the Movies That Made Us, because I really want to watch that as well.
Yeah, that's just released new season.
Yeah, the Hollywood Cliches one. I'm like, this gave me a lot of history of swear words vibe, or history of and I want to watch this. I like this. I want to watch an episode all about the Wilhelm scream. I'm curious.
I think
about it.
I think there's a lot of value in the idea of doing like a documentary of like the thing is like cliches have been in movies for 100 years. So like you go through the history of where that cliche came from, how it evolved cinema and things like that. I think there's a lot of value in that. It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm someone who's on YouTube a lot, so I've watched countless video essays about this exact thing. But it didn't have celebrities in it, so I guess that
It
helps.
didn't have the people who were involved in the industry talking about it. And I think if they are, I hope that they're able to go and like show footage, because they got footage from a lot of movies, that they can actually show like some of the earliest ones that actually showed it, like things that go back to like the 40s, the 30s.
Yeah.
Like, where did this start? Where did this thing start? I hope that happens. That there's enough of that, because like it's a good way to remind people, because like we're at a generation where like we're still interested in like older films, but it's definitely like that wanes further and further as it's going. We never talked about it, but Turner Classic Movies like recently changed its whole setup to be more embracing of the future. This is actually a good side tangent real quick. Turner Classic Movies, what they did is they actually changed themselves. They're still Turner Classic Movies, but what they're doing is a lot of their content now is practically up to like 15-20 years ago now, where before they were only like recently getting into the 70s, because they were like slowly moving up through the decades. And the whole reason behind it is that they're like, they no longer want to be exclusionary of voices, like feel like they're only catering to like white directors and white screenwriters, which if they stay locked into it that time period, they will be.
Very good
So
point.
they were like, we're going to move it up and focus on classic films that maybe are a little more contemporary, because we want to be more inclusive, which is their whole thing that they're pushing for. So in doing that, they're putting that greater focus on that, which is really nice. And it makes a lot of sense, but they're also like, they don't want to lose touch with like what the history of film is, and like maintain that long legacy of like where these things started, like let these things preserve. So I hope that some of that still carries on, because that's got to still have an audience with people.
I agree. All right. So MODOK, we knew that MODOK survived the Kevin Feige cancel hammer over at Hulu. And we heard rumblings that this one also did hit Monkey.
Rumble.
Hit Monkey also survived, so we got a first look trailer.
Theoretically, the last of that.
Yeah, I don't think Howard the Duck made it.
No. I mean, this is created by Daniel Way, who had a great run on Ghost Rider and Cable and Deadpool. Hit Monkey is a character I've never read, but he's shown up in Deadpool comics that I've read a bunch of. So like, sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish the animation looked better.
It looks fine. I doubt I'll
like
watch
a notch above the bad Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. I'm probably not gonna watch it, I'm gonna be honest.
I started MODOK. I didn't finish MODOK.
I thought the first episode was totally fine.
Yeah, I only watched the first two. I think that these MODOK and Hit Monkey are not long for the world anyway. I think they just were too far along in production to cancel them.
Yep.
I think this is the animation. Nothing about the animation is making me want to watch it.
Yeah, same.
I really don't have anything to say about Hit Monkey, really.
Well, do you have anything to say about Night Watch then? Or
Night
Teeth?
Yes, I do
Hell
have
yeah.
things to say
It's
about
the
Night
best
Teeth.
trailer of the week, I think.
Night's Teeth is the new Netflix original
Halloween
movie.
Kills.
But that's an established thing.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a brand new
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay, new trailer that we knew nothing about.
Vampires out on the town.
I didn't think it was gonna be vampires. I thought it was just like some people who were getting into trouble. And then the second we saw the feeding grounds, I'm like, oh,
I
we're
thought
going to...
Night Teeth gave it away.
I didn't think so. There's some
I honestly,
news
when I
with it.
first saw it, this is the second time I've seen it. When I first saw it, I was not registering what was like the Night Teeth title. I was like, okay, well, and then the vampires happened. I'm like, oh,
The
dang.
first time I saw it was off of a headline talking about Megan Fox and Debbie Ryan in a vampire movie. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
Alright.
see that, but
I loved it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
looks really cool. Who's the Debbie Fox? Say?
Debbie Ryan.
Debbie Ryan. What is? Who's
She's a
she
Disney lady.
She was a Disney girl. She's from Jessie
Oh,
on
okay.
Disney Channel, which crossed over with
Spider-Man.
in a cartoon once.
Definitely watch that episode.
No, she's actually she's really talented. She's been struggling to like have a big breakout post Disney. Like she's appeared in things, but like nothing that's gotten a lot of acclaim or notoriety. But she's talented as an actress, so it's really cool that she's getting to do this. And I'm all about bringing Megan Fox back.
Yeah,
baby.
I love the ominous tone throughout this entire trailer. This type of movie where like it's like, yo, it's like a bad time from the beginning, and then it's like it just gets worse.
Well, and
like, I love
the
that.
setup of him being the driver for
their
these
murders.
vampire ladies and getting sucked in that way. Like, what a good setup!
Sucked in.
Like a great premise I love the way that this trailer starts with just asking him like, "Come on, dude, you got like one night. What you gonna do?" And he's like, "Well, I'd kill you." And it's like, "There we go." Like, I'm
There's
all
the
about
bite.
this
Like,
vibe.
I
This looks
thought-
like great energy.
Like I felt it was gonna be we're gonna go to some parties and shit's gonna hit the fan and
I
it's,
mean,
it's
true.
gonna be like one of those one night movies where it's like where everything goes wrong.
It is that, but with vampires.
Yeah, it is that with,
That with
but with
vampires.
vampires. I thought it was just gonna be like a typical party movie and like drugs and the mafia and like he's like I'm just a driver, man. I'm just trying to
You
go.
know, like Stuber.
yeah, this
Stupid.
cast
Oh, I
looks.
forgot about Stuber.
This cast looks solid throughout. I'm happy about
And
it.
it's an October movie, baby. Halloween.
All right. Finch. This is the new Tom Hanks sci-fi movie.
Apple TV Plus.
It was supposed to go to theaters, but Apple TV Plus
I'll
bought it.
watch Tom Hanks make me emotional.
I was watching the trailer. The trailer doesn't really do much for me emotionally, but what I'm seeing, I'm like, if I watch this, I'm gonna be very
I'm
sad.
pretty sure if all of us watch this, it's gonna make us
It's
cry.
Tom Hanks
guys can
alone with
watch
a
it.
robot and a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So- and
I-
he's teaching the
I'm-
robot how to drive.
Honestly, this is also the most interested I've been in a Tom Hanks movie in a while. Tom Hanks is always a good actor. It's just the movies he's been doing haven't really interested me.
Yeah.
This is the first time.
Aren't you really excited for Greyhound?
Oh yeah, Greyhound's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
that
okay.
that wasn't that long ago.
They're right. Also Apple TV Plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That was just last year. So it's been, so there was the one. But I'm really
so really, you
excited.
just weren't interested in his most recent one, which was the what was the title, Ben? You brought it up earlier.
Oh, News of the World.
News of the World.
Yeah, no, I wasn't so interested in
Yeah.
News of the World. So I'm excited to see Tom Hanks. I like him a lot.
I like Tom Hanks too.
It's an Apple TV Plus, so like I'm probably not gonna watch it.
And I like
We have it.
Dom.
No, I know, but I'm still not gonna watch it.
I know there's so much on Apple TV Plus where I'm like, I should watch
There,
so much.
this looks fine. This is gonna be another probably an emotional manipulation movie, and like that's fine. They have their places. I have other movies I'd rather watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I would imagine you have other things on Apple TV Plus you'd rather watch also.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten those either.
Like
Foundation just started.
Yeah, man, I've heard
Foundation
such
did
good
just start.
things, man.
like
Oh, man.
19th. You want to watch 19th instead?
But that's on Netflix.
Well, that's on Netflix.
I got
true.
that.
Um, yeah, there's I also Schmigadoon apparently was great, so I'm sad I haven't seen it
Schmigadoon.
yet.
Oh yeah, Schmigadoon.
Dang it! Too many
I need
services.
to watch that.
Okay, Muppets Haunted Mansion.
This looks adorable.
Hella charming.
This looks so funny.
I wish that this hadn't been made during the pandemic, because the like green screen-ness of some of the shots is really taking something away from me. The fact that like there's a lot of times when I can tell that they're not in front of a real background or a set really sucks.
Sure.
I'm like, this feels like low Muppet quality.
Mhm.
When like I don't think that the story or the jokes or any of the stuff with the Muppets actually will be. It just feels that way because like it's a kind of blurred out background of a room in the haunted mansion, and I'm like, ah, man, dang.
Yeah.
Like usually they make such nice sets for this kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm a little disappointed in that.
I was actually really surprised that it's not about the Muppets going through the haunted mansion, and the celebrities would be the ghosts,
right.
and the Muppets would be like the main character. I was surprised that there are like human characters that they interact with.
Like
Right.
Will Arnett's the ghost host. Crap. Who's the lady who plays?
Taraji
Taraji?
P.
P. Henson.
Yeah, she plays Constance the bride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though it's good jokes. I like the Kermit, the new Kermit guys falling into the role.
Why
That's
is
me.
Danny Trejo always in prison
I
in
don't know.
Muppet stuff?
That's a good point.
Because
This is the second time they've done this bit with him,
I miss Rizzo.
where he's behind bars.
They're never gonna let him forget.
I miss Rizzo.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Pepe's overshadowed him.
Pepe took over Rizzo's role, and I will never not be salty about it. I like Pepe though. so-
Isn't Rizzo the rat?
Yes, that's his
Okay.
name, Rizzo the Rat.
All right.
Pepe the King Prawn.
Close enough.
Yeah, I have faith that this will be one of the better Muppets things that in recent years. I'm definitely excited about it. It doesn't feel like it's hitting the high that it could
Sure.
yet.
Yeah, I
Maybe
get
it
that.
will. But it's definitely that like there's so many shots where it's like they feel so flat
Mhm.
because it's just them and then the blurry background, and I'm like, this isn't quite Muppets level.
Yeah. Would you agree that Halloween Kills is Muppets level though?
No,
Oh,
Let him burn.
I would say it's
Let him
it's Michael Myers level.
well, that's the next one. That's the last trailer, Halloween Kills.
Oh my gosh, I was
I-
excited before.
I am super excited. It is interesting knowing that this is the second part of a trilogy. So like we know like the story has to like not continue or not end in a way.
Right.
This trailer revealed something new about the story, though. That's hella exciting, and all those people are probably gonna die.
Yeah, I didn't know that I wanted this
Yeah.
as much until I saw this
This
trailer.
became
but
a
like,
legacy movie.
but
all
like
of a sudden.
knowing that like the concept was, well, it's the whole town versus Michael Myers. I'm like, I mean, that's cool, that's neat. But then actually like having us have characters from before come back as representations of like the town fighting against Michael Myers is like, oh man, that's so effective.
We
It's
are
a
the
shame that
survivors of
it's a
Michael
shame that there's
Myers.
only one movie before that was canon,
yeah.
so you can't like pull more people. But that's still great. Like having the actor who played Lindsay come back as Lindsay is so good. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this movie. When they're just like, we survived that night. It shows the clips of what they were in the first film, and then where they are now. It's and then Jamie Lee Curtis, we are the survivors of Michael Myers. Such a good line.
that
it
is.
is.
Michael
line.
with his burnt face, his burnt mask is really scary.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
terrifying.
very excited.
Another thing, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I still love the fact that it's going back to like when I say the original Halloween 2, I mean how it's still taking place in the same night. It's
Yeah.
not like the next year.
Yeah.
Where it's like Michael was dormant for a year and then he's back. It's like it's still the same night as the first
A
movie.
direct sequel. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be one long ass.
burn.
It's gonna be like I only can assume Halloween 3, or which is Halloween Ends, is gonna take place at like the same like the movie probably ends at the dawn.
They shot them back to back. I have to.
I hope
imagine.
so, because then it's like this is gonna be one long Halloween night, and
It's
I'm all for
the
it.
longest in history. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for this film. Real quickly, just a little podcast in the chat.
Cookie.
Hi, gentlemen. Can't stay long, but wanted to show some love. Hello, sir.
I love you. I'll see you in like an hour.
Oh
boy.
Speaking of seeing him in an hour, we should get into our review then.
Ooh,
Ooh.
galiglit.
Unless Sparks has one more thing he wants to say about Halloween Kills.
Nope, I'm excited.
Gabliblit.
Play the music.
Galiglit.
All right, here we are. We're talking about James Wan's newest horror film, Malignant.
Galiglit.
Malignant.
Galiglit.
Says, I hope you say it differently. next time.
McGillicuddy.
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 So full spoilers for the film that came out last week. Don't if you don't want to know anything, skip ahead. It's a pretty wild movie. I recommend seeing it before you listen to us talk about it.
Absolutely.
So spoilers, you've been warned. Whatever you want to do.
Hey, what's up? We're here. Malignant.
What do we think about this one, Ben?
No, I don't want to go first.
Okay, Ryan.
I understand why people don't like this movie. It's awesome. This movie's awesome.
I don't understand why people don't like this movie. They're crazy. I love this movie.
Good answer.
I watched. I will say my first thoughts like this when the first musical sting hits. I was like, oh, this is Saw. We're doing the ridiculous horror. Cool. And once I settled that, I'm not watching a Conjuring. I'm watching a kind of like really wild, ridiculous horror movie. It's a blast.
He made his classic fancy horror movies.
Yeah.
He's time. Let's get nitty gritty. Let's
have
get
some,
dirty.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And I heard I listened to the Weekly Planet, and one of the things that they said that the sets don't feel like places. I think that's intentional. I think that it is meant to be that way, especially in the police house. Anyway, Ben, initial thoughts.
Horror master extraordinaire.
Stephen King's best friend
I
in
hate
the
you.
whole world.
Okay, I need all three of you to shut up and let me finish. Okay?
Wow.
Ooh.
Now he makes me want to interrupt.
Thank you. 80% of this movie I absolutely did not like. It was whatever. There was a bunch of bad adding, but the second we got to the very end and the thing started revealing itself, I liked it. Most of this movie was a slog for me to get through, but once I got to the end, I enjoyed it. The visuals are nice, but my opening thought was like halfway through this movie, I was like, God, can this movie just end already? I'm done. I am done with this movie. Then the stuff, the reveals happened. I'm like, okay, that was worth it.
Yeah.
That's my initial thought.
No,
Interesting.
that's honestly like there are a lot of there are a lot of wild reviews for this movie, and like honestly, like Ben, like that review is not far off from a lot of people I've seen, and also in the opposite way, a lot of people really like the horror movie that it was before it turns into the batshit insane backwards Voldo man. That
I like both.
That
I-
is
I-
a good. Okay,
No, yeah, I like all of it. You can't have one without the other. That's the thing.
that was a good.
I will say,
Whatchamacallit?
Soul Calibur.
The Soul Calibur, but I'm like, comparison. That's the word I was
Yeah.
looking for.
I will say I do have a negative. I'm mostly positive about this film, but like 99% of this movie I love.
Mhm.
But I am not crazy about the dialogue at the end of the movie, specifically after the creature is beat, after the tumor is beat, whatever. Gabriel. I forgot his name. Thank you. The dialogue that our main character shares with his sister, I find to be really weirdly written and awkwardly performed.
Mhm.
And other than that, I loved it.
Oh, I will say that throughout this movie, the dialogue is awful. There's some really bad dialogue deliveries. There's some funny ones, but there's a lot.
I think a lot of it is intentional.
100%. So
if it is intentional, okay, but still, I remember I would see clips of YouTube videos before I saw the movies. Like, this movie needs more camp. There's like, this movie isn't camp enough. And while watching it,
it lives in a camp.
I'm about to say, yeah, this movie is campy. Like, one of the scenes where I kind of groaned was when, let's just get right into it. F it. Was when Madison looks to Cindy and says, "I'm adopted." I'm like, hold up, is it supposed to be reversed? Is it supposed to be like, you're adopted? What? And it's like, wow, okay, that's a take.
What?
That's so weird.
She's the
I'm
older.
confused.
She's the older sibling.
She's the
so
older
of course she
sister.
would have the knowledge that she was adopted when the younger one doesn't.
No, but the other one's like, oh, I never knew you were adopted.
Yeah,
Right.
because she didn't know. What?
She didn't know she was adopted.
That's so silly.
She wasn't born
Just
when
like
she was
the-
adopted.
God.
Yeah, she wasn't born. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna defend. The script is written this way on purpose. It is absolutely paying homage to old school 80s Italian horror movies, old school super gross out silly things. Like, it is
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead, Gates of Hell, the original zombie movies, Lucio Fulci movies, like old school stuff. Like, I 100%, I think it's fine if you don't like the dialogue in this movie. I don't think it's good. It's done that way on purpose. This is one of the things where, like, James Wan made this movie for him and him alone, and he hopes you
Well,
like
him
it.
and his wife.
Well, you know what I mean. But yes. Like, he made Aquaman for them. This one's for me. And it is genre at its best. If you don't like it, I get it. But like, for what he's doing, he is the master at doing this kind of shit. This movie is so good for being like 80s schlock. It's so good.
James Wan, Sam Raimi.
100%.
Yeah.
There are so many Sam Raimi shots. Like the monster chasing you with the camera and her like pounding the door. Like, there's so much Sam Raimi influence in this movie. I love it.
I love the shot where it's above the house and
Yeah.
Madison's going through the different
That's
rooms.
an incredible shot.
That's a really good shot.
Like, I think Ben, a part of this is your lack of exposure with horror films has kind of come back on you. Not now, like, we've gotten you to engage more with the horror genre, but a lot of that has been like the sincere spooky side. We haven't gotten you to go deep on like the goofy monster movie B camp crap of
This
the
is closer to
80s.
Psycho Gorman than it is like a Conjuring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when watching the trailers for this movie, I'm expecting like, oh, this is like James Wan Conjuring level. Like, I'm gonna be scared
No,
shitless.
That's
I
the
don't
opposite.
want
It's
to
the
go.
opposite.
Like, I was like scared to go to bed. After the end of this movie, I'm like, I can sleep.
Conjuring has subtlety. This movie has it's there's no subtlety to it.
Right.
It is everything. It wears everything on its sleeve. Ben, one of the first lines in the movie is he's drinking the electricity.
Yeah.
You are in or you're out on
Yeah.
on that one.
That's the
Like,
thing
it's-
is, like, I feel like the
It's
first scene,
time to cut
if
out
the first
tumor.
scene wasn't
The
there,
cancer.
if the first scene
Cancer.
wasn't there, I would be like, yeah, this movie kind of tricked you.
Yeah.
But the first scene is right there where like you see a weird thing behind that
You
curtain.
see a monster
so,
with
like,
T-Rex arms going.
yeah, so you know, like, oh, this is gonna be weird.
Mhm.
Like, it tells you up front, like, this is a weird one. This is a weird one. Like, I was all for it. The moment like that scene happened, I'm like, oh, cool, this is what we're doing. Got it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think the marketing for this film does try to kind of cater more to the Conjuring side of the.
I think
of
so
James
too. I
Wan's
think the
audience.
marketing failed it.
Yes.
on some
Um,
levels.
But once if you are able to acclimate yourself to the movie that it's telling you in the beginning, I think you're in for a really great ride.
Yeah.
But if you stick to the idea that the marketing showed you a different movie, essentially, then I think you're going to come out disappointed.
Sure.
I am glad that you did like the part where it just turns into just like, yo, it's just slapstick now. Because the stuff in like the police fight, like the jail cell fight,
Oh,
The choreography is so good.
having your villain be a backwards monster, it's
So
really
that.
really unique.
Looks
Like
so cool.
a Dead by Daylight villain, if I've ever seen one.
And you know what? I didn't see it coming. What I remember listening first. So I've been letting Ben kind of go off, but I want to say quick things. I find 50% of this movie to be utterly terrifying. I was not okay for a lot of this. For before we get to like when the cop is chasing Gabriel. I legitimately could not, like, I had a hard time watching the movie.
Oh wow.
And it's a good, like, as a good thing. Like,
Yeah.
you go to a horror movie, you want to be scared. So like I was really scared. And then what was I going to say about something? Oh, I called the idea that, like, they're connected somehow, but I thought more of a cyclic connection between, like,
well, the sister says that it's like
no,
a
what's the name of it? Conjoined twins.
Yeah.
In a sense, it kind of is, but I thought more of a literal conjoined twin. Like, this was something that was like a real person that was, like, split from the other from her.
That's way better.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch that it would be actually inside of her skull and it comes out to kill people.
Well, the whole conjoined twin thing, I had a feeling it had to do something with conjoined twins, because you see pictures of Madison/Emily as a child, and she has stitches on her back. So I was like, oh, maybe this, and also it kind of gives, like, a little bit of a thing, because it's like you see a bunch of stuff with, like, babies in utero, like twins growing that are conjoined. And the opening credits kind of, they, like, give you, like, a little peek behind the curtain. The
movie tells you, like, if you can pick up on it or not. Like, it's
rewatching
it's not a comment like, oh, you're stupid if you didn't catch it, but, like, it's all there. Like, it's not hiding it. Like, if you want to catch it, you'll catch it.
But because it's deceptive, because it's there, but you're not thinking.
It throws red herrings all over the place.
It's not just that. It's not just that. Nobody watching this movie for the first time in their right mind would say, oh, the creature is inside of her skull and comes out to kill her. Like, you go to other more rational places. The reveal is better because you're not thinking about it.
That's why, to me, because, like, most of the movie, I was gonna be like, man, this movie is bad. But once we got to the reveal, and it's revealed that Gabriel was inside the skull, he comes out, like the scene in the jail cell, and he contorts his body, and that's why he wore the coat and the hat to look like a Bloodborne protagonist. It was like, I know you like that. And I was like, oh, this just got a lot better. Like, the second the thing, like, because I'm wondering, like, how come her head is bleeding on the pillow? The one thing that I have to say that this movie does very, very well is that it does show you what's happening, and it ties up every single loose end. Like the hitting the head on the thing, because you see throughout the movie, like, there's blood on the pillow even when she doesn't realize it. And then when Sydney comes, like, why is your head bleeding? We don't know why her head's bleeding. Oh, it's because Gabriel took over. And
it wouldn't be the idea that, like, he was freed because of the abusive boyfriend hitting her head. Again, like, I just went to, like, oh, they were like two full people who were connected at the head.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I was. So once the cop chase started happening, and you see him running backwards in a hallway, that's when I knew she herself was involved.
Yeah,
I thought Gabriel was just taking over her brain, like away from her body, but he still had a connection to her brain. So I thought he was just psychically taking over her body. Because people don't walk backwards. That's not natural.
I just thought it was like once again, I thought it was just like some weird, it was a conjoined twin where one twin came out okay, and then the other had a bunch of deformities to it.
Yeah.
i.e., they're running, like, their limbs grew to a way that they're
once you kind of settle on a theory, you do do like backward flips to make it work.
Yeah.
But I think the reveal in the 70s jail cell, for some reason, like, all of a sudden it just shoots.
Listen, there was a
1970s.
disco. There's a disco that went bad. They're all in jail.
Really bad disco night at the whatever. And she like rips her like the back of the skull open is awesome.
Yeah. And like the prisoners have the same reaction. It's like, what the F is going on?
It's such a bummer for you, Ben, that so much of the movie didn't work. Because I think there's, like, even without the reveal, I think there's so many inventive shots and, like, well framed color palettes and lighting and effective. Like, I love the way they do the first time that she's paralyzed and it spins around
and the
room
changes
what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's all such incredible stuff.
Yeah. I'm saying, when I said earlier that there was really good visuals, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the way the rooms melt, or she wakes up and she sees the next victim, one of the doctors in his own bed, and, like, she wakes up, she's like, she sees him, and then the room melts, and then she's like, oh, I'm watching this murder happen IRL.
Yeah. And there's this incredible shot where it's just like her, and it's like slightly shaking, and it's the like fisheye, and she's like, and
then you see, and
when she comes back to it, like the warm like warps around her,
and like when you see Gabriel like reach over her
Mhm.
to kill
Ooh,
him.
yeah.
Backwards, hell yeah.
And once it,
By the way, that guy's in Briscoe County Jr.
it's like it's
Okay.
terrible, it's not terrible. It's
Boston
terrifying. That's what I meant to say. It's terrifying. And then when she's screaming, and you see Gabriel look at her dead in the eyes, like, oh, because once again,
beautiful green eyes.
you don't see the real. I mean, makes sense, but still, it's one of those things. Is like, how is she seeing this, and does he see her? It just like adds layers upon
Living
it adds
nightmare.
layers upon this. Like, what is this mystery? What is going on? How is she seeing this? This is some creepy
What does
shit.
it mean?
And then you just get some really bad line deliveries.
I want to mention this the male doctor that who dies in bed. I really like that actor, so it's just kind of nice to see him in kind of a cameo role.
Mhm.
He's from Boston Legal, like most notably, but Sparks, you watch Briscoe County, so like I figured you'd kind of know that poll.
It has been
Very
too
long
long
time
to recognize.
But he's great in Boston Legal, and I just like him in general, so it was kind of cool to see him as a cameo role like there. there.
I guess I'm too steeped in schlock in horror.
Yeah,
because
me too. No, me
because
too.
like you're saying this stuff about lines, and I'm like, man, I didn't get that at all.
Maybe
like not even a little.
Maybe it's just because thanks to you guys, okay, I'm not blaming you guys, but you showed me some fantastic, amazing horror films, and I know how great of a director James Wan can be.
But it's a different type
And
of horror.
it is a different type of horror, and in the horror movies that you guys I've seen with you guys hadn't watched me for in preparation for the show.
Ben, have you seen Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness?
I've seen Evil Dead 2, yeah.
Do you like Evil Dead 2?
I love Evil Dead 2.
Then you just watched Malignant. You just watched Evil Dead 2.
It's the
it's
same
hor- it's
goofy shit.
It is schlock camp. It is not taking itself seriously. Like
Right.
he knows. Yo, there's a line where the sister's like, "What's Madison? He killed your babies. His psychic energy was feeding off of your unborn babies."
Right.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
and I'm like, this is so insane right now.
Right.
No, he
yeah.
was.
I cannot believe this.
At that point, I'm just here for the ride.
That's
When
the whole
she's-
movie, though.
I'm just letting it ride when
Yeah.
he's.
I mean, but
although-
that's the end of the movie.
Although
so,
yeah.
I'm really glad about the fake out when he kills when you see Gabriel pull the trigger on the sister.
The
and then-
Inception.
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, please tell me that's not how the movie ends. And then the room melts. I'm like, oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
it was really dark for a minute. I'm like, oh my
thank-
god.
I was like, oh, thank God.
I don't want to rag too much on Ben's dislike of the movie. I movies don't work.
It's
for
just honestly
people.
like I again like this like if you didn't like The Conjuring, like I think that is a definitely more classy, like quote unquote sophisticated horror movie. It's still a big blockbuster, but like
Horror's a wide genre with
It
different
is.
things, and this is playing to a different avenue than James Wan has usually done.
this is
but
a
it's
passion
still-
project type of thing for him. Yeah.
But it's still like a good version of that.
Yeah, so I don't want Ben to just kind of sit here and defend his opinions
No,
the whole
okay.
time. So I want to talk about some of the things that I liked. One of the twists that I really enjoyed is when the mom, who I clocked that she was a mom pretty early.
I didn't.
But when she falls through the ceiling.
so good.
I did not see that coming at all. That was such a shock to me. The musical sting there is brilliant.
I love that scene. I absolutely think because this whole time he's like, who is this woman? What is this woman? And then when she falls in the ceiling, it's like, oh shit, he was there the whole time. This is
It's a brilliant reveal.
now once again, when I say that this movie was hard to get through, I'm not saying that there are parts of this movie that I still enjoy because it adds more to the mystery. It's like it kept me engaged. I'm like trying to think of what's going on and what is happening, and that's why I say once we got to the reveal,
I gave you an out that you didn't have to just sit here.
So
and
like
defend your
again,
opinion.
like I am friends with a lot of people on Twitter, and like one of the people I follow, he was like, "Is Malignant a joke? Is this like a parody of horror movies?" And it's just because like if you're not ingrained in this type of genre, like then it's just not going to be for you. And like I don't blame you, Ben. This is not like any other horror movie that you've ever seen because you haven't been exposed to like super dumb horror. And sometimes horror can just be a silly dude and like silly lines and again, like Sparks and I have been like this has been
That's
growing
like
up with
most
this.
of the entire
Sparks,
Friday
you
the
wanna-
That's
13th
all
wanna-
of the 80s. Yeah.
Sparks, you wanted to say something a little earlier after I'd spoken about the reveal of her falling through the ceiling with the musical sting.
Yeah, when that was one of the few things I caught on to was like the first moment where I saw the attic with the fan.
Mhm.
I'm like, this is that attic. Like this,
Yeah.
there's no way this is just some attic. This is that attic.
I just thought it was I
because he was visiting the house too much. Like
Yeah.
I was like, he's coming here, so probably that attic. Like
sure I didn't clock it was an attic though. I thought it was still the underground city that they were in.
no, the big fan with the like
opening?
trees outside is
Yeah.
what put me on like
The thing
That's what's
that
up.
I really like about the movie, and again, it is super schlocky, but like every reveal feels super big because the music makes it super big, and it just like
Oh, good score.
it just leans into how
Such a good score.
and like they make it extra dramatic, like I am adopted, da 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 da, and I'm like, this is so on the money. Like it knows exactly what it's doing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I just want to, I want to praise the actors, because this was the thing I was saying earlier. Like, I didn't see that line reading problem at all, because I'm like, I think they're doing a great job. They all know exactly what freaking movie they're in.
Really
They
good,
know what they're doing.
really good bad husband. Like that dude sucks hard.
Screw that guy.
We need to highlight the music. I think the music in this, also the needle drops, I think are all great.
Oh, Where's My Mind by the Pixies being
my
like,
God.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
The music is turned up to 11 in this movie. It's huge. It's bombastic. There's also a really good scare that's not a scare it's when the sister is in the insane asylum. Props to have an insane asylum on the side of a cliff. Love it.
And she just drives right up to it.
Right up to the cliff, and she nothing happens to her. She's fine. It's just that it's constantly like
just drives right up to the
and like you're when she's in the thing. Go really close to the cliff, but like I love the setting of that. I love the idea of the spooky abandoned insane asylum, and nothing happens to her in the insane asylum. You're just constantly tense that something will.
This just made me like, especially that scene where like nothing happens. I'm like, oh, James Wan should have directed a Resident Evil movie.
There was the scene when you and I were watching it together where like it's the whole setup of the guy from Briscoe County Jr. where he's going through his apartment and he's looking for him, and they set up with the shot under the bed, and I'm like, oh man, really bold to like set up all that and just leave. Like that was great. I loved it. I love that it was
Fake
like
out.
You keep thinking it's gonna and nothing happens, and I'm like, man, really good tension built. I like everybody knew what movie they were making, and I think they were really committed to. Like, you've got the forensics lady who's obsessed with
Super
Detective
hot.
Hansen,
She sees the one detective,
and that's James Wan's wife. So like she knows what movie she's in.
She helped write the script.
When they see her, when she sees the lady detective, I forget her name, and then she immediately sees the guy's like, oh my God, you.
Yes,
Oh, that was so good.
So
like,
good.
They knew what they were doing. It's a super it's a fun horror
And
movie
you're
in like
also,
a goofy, crazy way.
There's also like there's not a lot of like significant main character deaths in this movie, but you feel like there could be. Like you never feel like the stakes are not there.
Yeah.
And the police fight sequence, I was constantly concerned that both those detectives are going to get killed.
for sure.
She got sliced in the stomach. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh no.
Well, because literally everybody else got murdered.
Yeah.
except them.
So I was constantly like, oh my God, please don't kill him.
It's funny because like the correlation of people who watch Aquaman and watch this movie, like they're not like it's for us there, but it's not for other people. But the fight scene at the beginning of Aquaman with Nicole Kidman has the same energy as the fight scene in the police station with the swirling camera, and I'm like, oh, he's good at action.
It's a single take for a lot of it, not for all of it.
Yeah.
Good, just good. Again, like they don't make these types of movies anymore for this exact reason, because like a lot of the general audience doesn't connect with it. I get that.
In many ways, this is what made people say horror was dead going into the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. I really want to just talk about the fact that like there is a fake mask on the stunt performer.
Oh, it's so good.
And I'm so happy they didn't do CGI because that mask is so beautiful. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's just
so
rubber. It's so
bad.
rubber.
But it makes it uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's uncomfortable to look at because it's there.
Yes.
And you're like,
I always feel like in a good way, like uncomfortable anytime the character Gabriel walks. Because there's just somebody walking backwards, but like they're walking forward. It's just like that performer is so talented.
I don't know if I have any more to say.
I definitely have more. I really appreciate this movie. One of the things like Ryan and I talked about right after, because like there was something very specific that it was harkening back to for me, which is a very similar like. So this is a film that didn't do this successfully, and it's called Darkness Falls.
Yeah.
Which is all about a tooth fairy who can only take the people that they kill when it's dark. So if they're in the light, they can't grab them. The direct parallel for me was that there's a whole scene where the tooth fairy comes and kills a bunch of cops in the station. That scene, the problem is that movie was so committed to it was a horror movie, so everything had to be spooky the whole time. So like all that murdering of the cops needs to be seriously scary. Every moment of that movie needs to be seriously scary, and the movie couldn't make that work because it's too goofy of a killer and too goofy of a concept. And so it just ultimately falls apart. That movie, like, overall is not super good. Even with a cool premise. This one doesn't try to do that. When it gets to those moments, it's like, no, this is now action. Like this is an action movie.
We're
This is
now
not-
doing an
We're
action
not trying
movie.
to scare you anymore.
But
And
it
that's-
is still tense in the sequence underneath with like the carriages and things like that with the detective.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm talking like the cop killing scene. Like
Right.
it when it knows what it needs to do, it's doing it. It's shifting its tones as is appropriate to match what it's trying to tell in the story. And that is why it's so good to me. Because I've seen when like a movie doesn't know how to do that, and that was Darkness Falls. That is a true example of like we needed to make a spooky movie throughout, and like by doing so, completely fell flat on its face. And it
Yeah.
could have been
Tooth
something
Fairy.
really good.
Yeah.
And this one knows like, hey, this is the time where we get to embrace being a little funny. We get to embrace being weird and do all these things. And like it has its moments where it gets to be tense and scary. The moment when she first encounters the doctor in her house and she runs right past the stairs screaming, and it's like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
And like
What
you
are
said, like
doing in my
the
house?
above the house shots, or her running through trying to shut everything when she sees him in the dark, like all of that is still good tense horror. But then there's all this weird schlocky stuff that's also super good.
It's an
really-
acquired taste. For
It's
sure,
a really good moment of misdirection when the first time we see Gabriel, he's kind of this ethereal darkness being because we're seeing it from her perspective, what she's seeing.
Yeah.
And it has to be her. So like it's not actually him.
The first time like that he's in like the attic, like you see he's a physical being. I'm like, oh, okay, so like he's real.
Yeah, he's
okay.
putting on a jacket.
Again, like
Well,
every,
and like and
every
so that
reveal.
and
is
that
so good.
encounter was different because she was unconscious.
Mhm.
And so he wasn't like even having to paralyze her or anything. She was literally knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, good movie.
I like his murder weapon. How it's
That's
taken
cool,
from
yeah.
a trophy
Yeah.
and it's like super sharp. I'm like,
Yeah, I thought
The-
that was fun.
The way he kills the doctor is so
It's like backwards
crazy
stab.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me. I had nightmares about it.
I love it.
Yeah. Just like killing all the ladies in the cell. Like, what a sequence.
Straight up just
Um,
just punching right through a stomach.
I
Yeah.
I honestly love like the emotional intention, like in the sense of what this film is, like the emotional intention of the, he's the reason you had all the miscarriages, and that being the thing that like anime propels her to like break free of the paralysis
they have an
and lock him
anime
in.
mind battle.
Yeah, exactly. And then trap him in and have faked him out and trick him and like I got you where you need to be now. Like this is you watch OKKO enough. This is
Yeah.
TKO.
okay.
Like put TKO back in the cell. Like that's what happened. Like it's so good.
This
Like
movie,
I love
yeah,
it.
This movie will never get a sequel.
Doesn't
but
need it.
it doesn't need it, but like they leave it open. Like
Sure.
next time I'll be ready because I have all of my powers
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I want a sequel. It's so silly.
What time is your downward and noise? 6?
6 o'clock.
We should probably.
Truthfully, like I'm a big fan of Insidious, but this is the kind of
Me too.
weirdness I wanted in Insidious, because one of my biggest things, like I really love those first two
It's-
Insidious
to
films.
me,
I
it
think they're
feels-
super good, but my biggest problem with
Yeah.
them is that they go into the place where people dream,
Yeah.
where the kid's dreams, and says he even had dreams about flying, and it's just dark and spooky and like it's all scary everywhere and misty, and I'm like, that's not the only thing that they should encounter in the dream world. They could certainly go there, but it should also have some weird stuff, and I wish more of this energy
Yeah.
was in that. So I'm glad to get something that shows that James Wan can
Yeah.
play in that space.
Final thing for me. James Wan directed a movie called Dead Silence, and it's a ventriloquist
yeah.
movie, and it's much more in line with like this.
Sure.
And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I think I might want to revisit that evil ventriloquist movie now.
Yeah. Should we rate?
Yeah.
Rate it.
All right. Ben, you went last, so Sparks.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9. I guess I'll go with an 8.5. Like there's not a lot, like knowing what the movie is supposed to do, it treats me well.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
I'm 100% there with you. 8.5. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm glad to have rewatched it. And just to see like, oh yeah, they really just kind of lay everything out, and like
I think
it's really fun.
Gabriel's creature effects are super good.
Love it. I'm serious. I hope he's a Dead by Daylight villain in the future.
It's all
I think that'd be
all
so fun.
practical.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
yeah.
why it looks so good. Like very much harkens back to the creature creation of Pumpkinhead. That's
Yeah.
where that comes to mind for me.
7.5.
Actually, it's higher than I thought you were gonna go.
Oh no, I mean,
Um,
there are parts of this movie I do not like, but like I said earlier, the reveal and with everything comes together, it makes it worth it. And there are some really good shots. There's really good, like you guys were talking
You
about.
might need to watch this one again. At
I
some point.
probably
Yeah.
will need to watch this one again.
5.5. No, 8.5. I'm with you. I'm with you guys. 8.5.
Yeah, I'm solidly pleased.
So let's get into our book club.
Book it up.
Books.
The Doom.
All
Doom
right, it
Patrol.
is my book club this week. So me take it away. I did Doom Patrol Volume 1, Crawling from the Wreckage. This is issues 19 through 25 of the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol run. That's what's collected in that first trade. I recently started watching the Doom Patrol TV series, so I was like, I want to read some Doom Patrol. I've only read the Milk Wars things.
This is actually 19 through 34 over here.
What?
This is book 1. It's not just volume 1, Crawling Through the Wreckage.
It's a big boy.
This is a big collection book.
Yeah.
So it's 19 through 34. We're only talking about 19 through 25.
Yeah, no. There's another collection. That's the 2016 release. The original collection was just Crawling Through the Wreckage.
Right. I got you.
So what do we think about Doom Patrol?
I enjoyed it a lot, especially having watched the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think about this book? Having not watched the show.
Well, if I had actually read the right
I forgot.
Okay, so I was trying to find it because the place I go to read comics, because I looked up Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison.
Did you read this page with That's a Big Horse?
Yes, I did read that page with the big horse.
There's on the site we use. There's something that says TP1.
Yeah,
You could
but
just click that.
it didn't have TP1 there.
all
That's the
right.
thing.
It's all right.
Because I was trying to find the one that was written by Grant Morrison, because I didn't know Grant Morrison showed up halfway through the run of the book.
To be fair, he does jump on issue 19,
Yeah,
so
it
like
19.
And
it's
of course,
technically not volume
so
1.
I googled it, and one of the things that popped up was like issues 26 through 34, and even that's like two separate stories in and of itself. So I read the first story thinking, okay, maybe this is the one I'm supposed to read, and it turns out to be not the one I was supposed to read.
Well, how was it, Ben?
Okay. How was it though?
I read the arc that deals with the painting that ate Paris, and I definitely felt like this is a Doom Patrol. This is the crazy bonkers absurdist, because the main villain of that one was Mr. Nobody, who's like this abstract, flat-looking character, and who has this very eccentric style of speech. That was like, yeah, this is definitely a Doom Patrol type villain, and it was bonkers, but it was Doom Patrol level bonkers that I can get behind, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, this is definitely like, if you want something that goes into the weird, like if a Casey Casual says, I want to read something weird, not like, oh, like tame weird. I want something that's like, whoa, weird.
This is
I'm like, go to Doom Patrol.
this is tame compared to
This is tame
I am
compared to.
more-
Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Never mind. I guess I haven't read a lot.
I am more familiar with Grant Morrison with his Batman.
There.
Sorry, thank you. Their Batman work, and Superman from Action Comics. So I have only read from this era of Grant Morrison a couple of Animal Man. So I have not read his Doom Patrol before, nor this era of Grant Morrison. Their Doom Patrol.
I know.
So it's I was really excited to visit this after watching the TV show that it takes a lot of cues from this, and I love this.
A lot. Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, I thought this was it's an incredible. Sorry, Ben. It's an incredible introduction of these characters. If you haven't read Doom Patrol before, like it very effectively gets you on board with all of them very quickly, onboarding you through them. Some of them you get like little origin moments, but some of them you don't.
It is always a problem. Could be a problem when you jump on, a new creative team like on issue 19. They might not do like a fresh quote unquote reboot or whatever. Like it just continuing the story, so you have to jump right in. But this
Morrison had the benefit that a major line-wide event had just happened.
Invasion.
In this, Morrison talks about how
There's a great forward.
They talked about it ahead of time, and like the person ahead agreed to kill or maim most of the Doom Patrol so they could start fresh.
Yeah. So he was coming on after Invasion, and Invasion even influences, like they talk about the gene bomb from Invasion. So,
I read issue 18 of Doom Patrol to prepare myself for issue 19. Not that it really mattered for this conversation, but I wanted to see what the book was like before, and Grant Morrison isn't doing anything new. He's just taking from what the characters were already doing. So it's they. Thank you. Dang, I thought I'm so bad at this. They're not. This is a really good book, but they're not doing their own thing. Like this is just taking off what Doom Patrol's already doing. They just do it really well.
Yeah, Doom Patrol. He has a line in this where he has a issue 20 or the end of the trade has like an afterword from Grant Morrison where he talks about thank you. Where they talk about how growing up they were more inspired by characters from the Doom Patrol because they're old characters,
right?
Than they were from like Superman or Batman. So writing Doom Patrol was really important to write them as these misfits, these weird misfits, because
Mhm.
that's what
That's what they connect to.
that's what Morrison wanted this to be a refuge for. Like, if you ever felt weird or different, this is the book for you.
Right.
Oh, Ben, did you know that Remus is actually a lady and a man?
Oh yeah, Rebus talked about that
Okay,
in,
cool.
in the
The-
book.
A
So-
lady, a man, and the negative force.
and the
all
negative
of them.
force.
The
It's
changes
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Like,
the
I know about-
changes that show has made
Mm.
to Larry Trainer, reading this shocked me. I was like, oh,
I'll tell
what?
you what. There's some things that I think the show does much better. Obviously, it comes from the inspiration, but like I think the realization of Jane's powers in the show is done much better.
I
And
do
it just
too.
you have so much more time.
You just
for
have
it,
you have
too.
more time. Just like even like the character, there's not. They change Jane's appearance more in the show than they do in the comic.
Mhm.
Almost all of the characters that Jane turns into, except for like the giant monster sphere, it's just Jane looks like Jane. So it's just like, oh, I'm Flint now. Oh, I'm this character now. Oh, I'm this character now. So like the different appearances could have helped, but that's hindsight and having watched the show, of course.
Yeah, there are things that I also agree. Like, I think what they do with Larry,
Mhm.
I prefer in the show than here, and that could just be because I've watched the show.
Oh,
first.
I wish they did this because it actually goes into like the gender stuff with man and female, and like that would make it really far more interesting, I think.
Sure. I don't know if I would trust anybody to handle this very well, but I guess
Man, I
it could
trust
have been
Doom
an
Patrol
attempt.
has
I know.
street
I'm
on
not
it.
I will
not
say,
talking about that.
like what I do think, like the trade off that we got real quick, just because
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about the show, but I do know, like having talked to other people who really like Doom Patrol and are queer, it's really nice to have Larry Trainer have such a fraught and emotional love story that is queer focused, because
yeah.
that doesn't happen a lot, especially in the superhero genre.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I'm kind of cool that we at least got that trade off.
Yeah.
I think we
For
could
not
have
doing
both.
the we could have, but the thing is, like the way that they're tackling it here, if it were to go too far into this direction, is that the identity is lost. So like that emotional connection, that love story wouldn't have been something that carried over, because that's kind of like a new identity has become.
Yeah, because Rebus
because
is,
we see Rebus visit the fiance of the woman,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like, there's no real love connection
it's
there.
not in the show. It's Larry Trainer has been changed by the negative spirit. In this, it is they don't exist anymore. It
Right.
is Rebus.
Yeah.
I really like how this comic, and Grant Morrison has, always one of the things I really love about Grant Morrison are the crazy concepts. And having like the idea that these scissor men are cutting people out of the panels
Mhm.
and putting them into this world that doesn't exist but does exist.
Yeah.
Is really well visualized, and like props to the artists. Like Grant Morrison's always worked with some of the best artists in the industry. And I love the art in this.
Great
How
art.
they
Yeah.
do this.
Cliff Steele. Just it's I just now that I've seen the show, like I read this in Brendan Fraser's voice the entire time.
Yes, I
Me
do
too.
And it 100% works. Like that is a true representation of the character from the comic to the screen. The way his interactions with Jane is so good, and like it's just like the show, like we're both broken people, and I'm trying to help her, and she can help me, and blah blah blah, and like
Mhm.
I all the stuff with like, and I like that they incorporate stuff from the DC universe. Like it's in the same way that Swamp Thing it's part of the DC universe, but like it wasn't like, oh, we're talking to Superman every issue. It just brought in stuff when it wanted to, like Constantine and stuff. I like that it brings in like the guy who made the Metal Man, like, oh, I'm gonna make you a better body because I feel bad.
he made Robot Man in the
Mhm.
original continuity as well as the Metal Man. One of the things that I was really kind of a little tidbit from the show is that Morrison couldn't use Constantine, and he wanted to.
Yep.
And he wrote him into a script.
They.
So they when they were like, can't use Constantine because we're doing that on Swamp Thing in his own title. We don't want to break the realism, so they just white out, I guess, Willoughby.
Yep.
And it's always like that's Constantine. But there's another story in this as well as like the Scissorman story. There's one with Jack the Ripper, essentially.
Mhm. It is Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, it is Jack the Ripper. Dorothy is also in this. We are introduced to Dorothy early in this book.
Mhm.
The Jack character is really well visualized.
He's in season 2, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Jack. Yeah, there's a Jack
Yeah.
the Ripper episode in season 2.
I know. Yes, that is in season 2.
Yeah, I think that there's some really cool stuff in this with her with Jack kind of like tormenting the Doom Patrol. I think that's all a lot of fun. And
Dorothy is just a wonderful little character.
yeah, Dorothy's a fun character with the there's one like kind of they have a story in this as well in that trade where they have to deal with the fact that their imaginary friends are
The red shoes are a
red
metaphor
shoes.
for her going through her first
Oh,
period.
Mhm.
I love this design of this character. I forget which imaginary friend. The crossword puzzle, the newspaper text. That's such a cool design. And nowadays you do just that in a computer, but back then they had to like really go in there.
Yeah.
Love the art.
Yeah, I think the art's really great. I think that little story with Dorothy is really, really good. Especially for like the time when it was written. They adapt that idea very well. I think into season 2 of Doom Patrol.
I hope they've done things similar to this, but I hope they just when they do the thing with Oswith with this like fake reality that's actual reality, like that is so fun. That's such a cool concept, and like you just have to challenge the reality itself to make sure it doesn't exist.
Yeah, what's the line that Rebus beats them with? It's like what's the question? How
like,
can something exist
and not exist
or something like that?
Yeah. It's just like a logic thing, and it's just like in this world the
But
logic
that's such
doesn't work the same way.
But that's such a cool idea for a superhero book to tackle the idea that like this like villain is beat with a logic question.
Yeah.
And like it's erased from existence because it logicked itself out of existence. Is really cool. I love Grant Morrison. So
when's Josh showing up in the show? Huh? Where's Josh at?
isn't Josh the caretaker of the original Doom Patrol?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna say
right.
we met Josh.
That's true. I forgot. Oh, cool.
Because there's an original Doom Patrol and all
That's
that
right.
stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think we kind of did Osrith too with the Snow Globe.
No,
world.
that's an actual story.
Oh, that's
an actual thing.
Because I remember them doing the question bit.
Yeah. They might have. They might have just combined the two stories.
I think they did
because
they
looked
did
it
the
up.
question bit, and
Yeah.
it was like the unreality paradox thing because that's what the Doom Patrol was dealing with on
That's
the
right.
outside of it.
Because they
So I think
combined
they
those
mixed
stories.
it, yeah.
Because I definitely saw some images of like the Queen and King guys.
Because that was the whole concept of like they were dealing with the religion that was written that wasn't real.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
and all that
That's so
stuff. Yeah.
good. Oh Ben, you got to get on it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all. It's a great book. I think Doom Patrol has been a blind spot in my DC Comics archive. I'm really happy I was able to read this book, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you all enjoyed it too.
Definitely.
Even though I didn't
I read
actually
it
read the issues I was supposed to, I still enjoyed it. And I was like, this is some like the art. It's the same arts throughout. So the way that the artist, I can't think of the name right now, but the artist is just like, this is easily some beautiful comic art, even when it's like crazy and abstract, and you have these just insane looking panels like the one that Ryan showed me where it's like the fifth horseman of the apocalypse just breaks through the water, or
for your issues it was Simon Bisley and John Nyberg doing the inks.
Inky inks.
it was gorgeous. It was a very like this
for ours it wasn't as consistent.
Still good work though.
Oh no, yeah, no, still good art.
Yeah, like the scene with Cliff Steele, like when he first meets Jane, and she's painting and it starts raining outside, and like, oh my god, everything's horrible. It's like my painting's raining. He's like, let's just go inside, Jane. Let's go right. And like it's just like quiet little moments are so good while having the giant crazy reality.
All
show.
stories penciled by Richard Case and then inks.
Oh yeah, this
done
is a
by different
specific
people,
thing that's
yeah.
like this one guy did it.
All right, well, I think that'll do it.
Doom Patrol successful. Watch season 3. It's out now. I'm trying. Let's do it.
Marks,
Baby.
it's your turn next week. Oh, you got something? He's reaching.
Reach for the sky.
We're all doing a little comic called Halloween Tales.
Ooh, read that name for me.
I can't.
are-
I'll work on figuring out pronunciation.
There you
This is a French comic.
Heck
We
yeah!
are
Is it
doing-
is it an
It's
anthology?
not. It's
Or
in
just one
English.
story?
It is 3 stories.
Cool, I love it.
Halloween Tales, 3 issues.
Oh baby, Halloween season.
It's just a nice.
Yeah,
it's
we're
a nice
gonna-
little.
I guess we're starting our spooky book club.
spooky time.
I mean, you don't
well, 'cause
have
the
to.
next,
You're
next
just a
time we
cop.
meet up, it's officially October.
Yeah, so I think I think probably I know us. We did this every year. All of our books will be spooky related.
Spooky,
What?
scary
For October.
skeletons.
Okay, so that'll do it.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Otherwise, thank you everyone for doing this. I guess we just figured out we're doing Venom. Let There Be Carnage probably
2
next
weeks.
week.
It's come out 2 weeks early.
Yeah. So that's will probably be the next episode, but we're gonna
Catch
play
me
it
here
by
or maybe don't.
We're gonna see
We're
how
gonna
the reviews are.
play it by ear.
We'll see.
It's not very fun to kick a movie. I mean, sometimes it can be.
Sometimes.
So that'll do it. So thank you to everyone who's been watching this throughout. Thank you to
Thanks.
everyone who watches the replay and listens to the audio. I'm so sorry the audio was late this week. I had a hell of a week. But you can check out other shows such as, there's some more audio shows. Of course, there's Conversation, which is the show that I do where I talk about podcasters. One more episode of the season, and then it's gonna go, and I'm sad about it, but I have to. But the episode that is up now, which is linked below, is with Travis Alexander from the Kaiju Weekly podcast, and the last episode will be Michael Hamilton from the Kaiju Weekly podcast. So you got 2 for there.
Screonk.
If you like this video and you subscribe to this channel, you get some other shows, you get some other cool shows, such as Fake Nerds Watch. There are 2 Fake Nerds Watch happening right now. There's What If. There's a What If in the description. And there is a Star Trek Lower Decks Fake Nerds Watch that I do with Cookie from Just a Little Podcast and Michael Carls from Downright Annoyed.
New episodes of those out this week.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Of course, there's Basement Arcade. A lot of really fun stuff coming from Basement Arcade, guys.
True. You're gonna want to be watching Basement Arcade. There are spooky games on the horizon.
Yeah.
Spooky games where I'm gonna get scared shitless.
I am
Hopefully.
excited that show is coming back. I'm
just gonna make Ben watch Malignant 4 times. For that as Basement Arcade.
Please don't make me watch Malignant 4 times.
I'm not on every Basement Arcade, but I'm always excited to see what we do, and I'm even more excited for especially one that I'm part of.
Yeah.
Which I think we had a good episode.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about too.
Of course, there's Basement Arcade Pause Mini, which is Ben's show.
Yeah.
There is episodes up now. You can find them audio and visually, and its own playlist. And there's a new episode coming, Ben.
Oh yeah, there's one coming with my friends from Arcade Attack over in England, and I just recorded one last night with Sin Spacies. He's in Australia. I got another one planned for next weekend, and I'm still waiting for someone else to write me back and let me know when she's available because I've been really looking forward to have her on the show and talk about
Hit him up at that. That's really exciting. Is the Basement Arcade Quarterly's coming soon, or are we waiting?
I think we're waiting
to be determined.
We'll talk about this off air, but
Yeah.
I kind of have a plan about how I want to do that.
Cool. So stay tuned for that. And of course, there's the Fake Nerd Book Club, and there's Animation Station. Latest episode of Animation Station is Adventure Time Distant Lands Obsidian. You can probably look forward to more Animation Station coming soon. We talked about doing Star Wars Visions as an Animation Station. So you can obviously we'll be finishing Adventure Time Distant Lands.
Yep.
Sparks and I. Ben, you and I had an idea for one that we might hijack.
Yeah,
your show.
I want to. I still want to
Again?
talk about that. Yes, we're gonna hijack it.
So,
We like that idea a lot.
Assuming this is DuckTales.
No,
No,
it's the
But we can do DuckTales.
I guess we could do DuckTales.
But
No, it would be the Saturday morning cartoon blocks.
Oh, right.
All right, so stay tuned for a lot of that cool stuff. We put out a lot of cool stuff. We I think anyway.
No,
so
we do. You're right.
Make sure to subscribe and find it all.
Thank you. I love you.
There's still a pandemic, so get some masks. Crafted by Z is still putting up masks for us. We got a logo on them. You can also get them on TeePublic, but I prefer the ones that we get from that we make ourselves. You can find those links below, and you can find our Patreon. Okay, news about Patreon real quickly. I'm going to end the exclusive shirts. I'll tell you guys why off air. But it will be relaunched in January. We'll start again with the Don't Be a Dick shirt, and I will get those Stephen King shirts out as soon as I can. But because I'm so late on those and I have to find new people to do this, it's just gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to put it on hold for a bit.
All right. So they will return. That's a good news.
Yeah, we'll return because I really want to keep doing that. And of course, you can find shirts on TeePublic. There's a lot of shirts on TeePublic. And there's masks and there's mugs and there's a lot of cool stuff on TeePublic. So check out both those links are below, and you can find our website at www.fakenerdpodcast.com. where you can find writings that we've done. Sparks's Space Jam article is not up yet.
I don't know why you've been on the show the past 4 episodes.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
You liar.
You said.
I didn't write this for anybody but me. And when
Listen,
I'm ready to be done with it and put it up, then it'll go up.
Listen, I get it. Art's hard.
And all those links and all of our shows are there on that website. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone watches the live recording. Thank you to everyone who watches the replay. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who did all the music you heard tonight and all the music today and all the music you've heard on every show that we've done. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards, and of course his podcast, Suburban Proctologist. You can find that on iTunes and Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at SubProcPodcast. Thank you to Mike Matola. Mike Matola is a cool guy. He does our logo for the Fake Nerd Podcast, for the Fake Nerd Book Club.
You made that thing right up there, up in that corner.
That they can't see.
These two can't see. It's our logo. That's
there's one up there.
That they can't see. The people in the TV.
No, he's talking about the Fake Nerd logo.
Oh,
not the Mike Matola art that is on the wall.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the
screen.
logo. I'm talking about the logo that's up there on the screen that these two can't physically see.
Got it.
But yes, there is Mike Matola art that you can't see. That's up there. Audience members can't see.
See it.
All right, so you can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and TikTok. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast. fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben.
You can find me furiously finishing Metroid Fusion and also burning through Dune, because I need to do that, at BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, we talked a lot about video games earlier today for the Nintendo Direct. If you love old school video games, you should totally check out oldschoolgamermagazine.com, where I write about old school video games. My latest one is about finding what is old is new again. That article is still up right now. A new one is coming eventually.
Ryan.
You can find me going live in 9 minutes at DJ Tony Snark on another channel.
And Sparks.
You can find me still reading a bunch of Dune.
Bene Gesserit.
Sparks Witty on Instagram and Twitter. SPARKZ Witty.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn,
Muad'Dib.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcast, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Until next week, guys, stay fake nerds.
Spice Master.